Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, this like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at. Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Per usual, I am your host, Scott Lewis. You know to follow me on all social media platforms at Barber Chair Scott. Follow the Barber's Chair Network at Barber's Chair Co. on all social media platforms. And while you're at it, follow the new pages of I'm Not Gonna Hold You at INGHY Show on all social media platforms as well. Get in tune with our business partners, H&B Media, at H&B Media TV on Twitter, and at H&B Media on Instagram. And of course, subscribe to our Patreon, man, patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. You can watch this on a TV, computer screen, whatever. Take your phone up to the QR code, and it will take you to all of the different tiers we have. If you subscribe to the 79th and Handlers tier, there's a new preview pod up right now. Me and the homie Mikey previewing the Bears game against the Detroit Lions this weekend. And also, we've got a whole bunch of other stuff on there, man. So subscribe to that as well. If you're watching this, listening to this on your phone, the link is in the description box as well. And while you're at it, subscribe to my new YouTube channel. I've got a lot of exclusive stuff on there as well. Shout out to everybody who has subscribed. I started the channel like in June. We had 360 subscribers. I want to boost that up to 500 before the end of the year. So we building this channel up from the ground up. So please do that. Of course, same thing as the last QR code if you watch this on TV. Not the link is in the description box, man. Got a packed show for y'all today. Courtney will join later in the next hour. Tosin will also be with us in about 50 minutes. We're going to do Soccer for Dummies. We're going to preview Matchweek 4 in the Premier League. We're going to be talking about Champions League starting up on Tuesday as well, and everything going on with that. Before we get started with that, got some news, man. I'm not going to hold you on Mondays. We'll be moving to 10 a.m. Eastern, which is 9 a.m. in Chicago or in Central Time in general. During the NFL season, we felt it would be better to do the show early on those days so y'all get our instant reactions to the NFL games from the day before, and we can properly prep y'all for that night's Monday Night Football game, or in Monday's case, 2 Monday Night Football games. So that'll be going throughout the Super Bowl, and then after the Super Bowl, we'll get back to the regular time. But Friday's time is 9. We're still on 5 Eastern, 4 Central Time. So get in tune with that. Shout out to everybody who watched this past Monday as well, man. And I'm sorry to some of you bitch ass niggas who wanted me out of here, but I'm not. So fuck you as we start the show. But anyway, let's bring in my co-host for the day. We've got JR Bang. We've got Dante here. You can follow Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. Follow Dante at October Zonte. How you guys feeling on fine Friday afternoon?
Feeling good, feeling great, feeling good, feeling great. Hit that button before it was a fine. I'm feeling stellar right now.
And he got to find himself now because he's definitely.
He got to find himself.
I definitely did.
Whoa, that's a fun.
I'm decent though. Ready for the fight tomorrow. It'll be one of the best fights we've seen in a very long time. Got some playoff baseball, a lot of baseball with playoff implications, I should say. So it's gonna be a good weekend.
New episode of High and Out right now on all your Barbershop Network podcast feeds. The video will be up this weekend. Who's fighting tomorrow? You know, I don't be following fighting.
Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford.
Okay. I ain't know Terrence Crawford was still fighting, but I learned something with that.
Terrence Crawford is jumping up two. He's jumping up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo. Canelo is the undisputed super middleweight champion. This is Terrence Crawford's first fight at 168. A lot of people thought they were going to meet at 160, but Crawford was like, "Nah, I want the challenge." So he's jumping up 2 weight classes to fight him at 168. I think it's going to be a great fight. I got Canelo, but I do think it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, man. So with y'all gonna have like a Martin style watch party, or niggas just like?
So that's the thing. With real serious fights, I watch them by myself. Like if this was a fight I didn't care about, then I would link up with people. Like I'm gonna watch this dolo.
Yeah, same here. I don't know. I'm gonna pick it. I'm leaning towards Canelo because Crawford can be chinny, even though that's why they keep saying in the promotion that these two have technically have not been knocked down. But Crawford can be chinny. But if he could stay away, he is the taller and the fighter with the longer reach. So if he could stay away and do his thing, he should win this fight. I just don't know if that chin gonna hold up if he get caught. So Canelo wins by knockout or Crawford wins by decision.
So here's my question for you, Bang, before we move on. What announcement did Triple H make? I saw he was on Nightcap and shit.
Oh, you ain't see it? Oh, for the first time in WrestleMania history, WrestleMania will be overseas. They will be doing WrestleMania 43 in 2027 in Saudi Arabia. The WWE has a long-term deal with Saudi Arabia. Yeah. They've had. I
thought you was gonna say London or some shit.
No. You know, a lot of people after SummerSlam, I think it was 91, was in London. A lot of people thought that London would be that choice, but the WWE has been in bed with Saudi Arabia for about like 8 years now. It's been a very fruitful partnership money-wise. So it was only right with Sheikh Turkey, however they say his name, it was only right that they would do this now in Saudi Arabia. Very interesting because Royal Rumble 2026 will be in Saudi Arabia as well. So my only thought about it, and we'll talk more about it on First Black Champ, but my only thought about it is that you're over here often now. So kind of doing a WrestleMania there, is it special? Because you already.
I won't say it's special, but one thing WWE does not give a fuck about apparently is bad press.
Well, one, we got to stop saying WWE and start saying TKO. You'll be hearing me talking about that more often than not. But yeah, they've been in bed for 8 years already. They've been doing plenty of events over there. From like me and Kemp from the Port has christened any Saudi Arabia pay-per-view Saudi Mania anyway. So we feel like we've named this and have named this Saudi Arabia for quite some time. But is it special? That's what we're going to be talking about on Sunday. Is this special? Because you've been over there for 8 years. Is this special? So.
That's true, man. We kicking it off with the local hour, man. Our first local hour of the season.
It is the local hour.
There we go. Local hour kicking off, man, here. So I think everybody who follows any of my social media platforms know how I felt about Monday's debacle. Okay. So I'm gonna give the floor to y'all about how y'all feeling, not really how you feel on the day of. I feel like we're past that at that point. But what's your vibe level heading into this game after what we watched? I'm gonna go to Dante first. You kind of predicted that this was gonna happen, so I'm gonna go to you first.
Yeah, I'm right where I was at, brother. I think 6 and 11 is very much on the horizon. I know with the offense, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take a lot longer than we expected. I think the best case scenario was they come out like gangbusters and just go crazy. But I mean, at the end of the day, they were playing Brian Flores. That defense is amazing, and we saw what he did in the first half. He really, played pretty vanilla, straight up. And then he started to do all the exotic packages that he does and that he's known for. And there were some struggles and really some misses, but overall, I think it's nothing to really be upset about. Like, it's gonna happen. Now, if we go through this entire season and Caleb is still as inconsistent as he's been, then yeah, we're gonna have some questions. But right now, week one is kind of what I expected. I'm definitely not as angry as I was after the game. It's more so our defense did what it could for 3 quarters, but at the end of the day, 1, they were going to get tired. 2, we were down 3 starters. So I'm not surprised that JJ was able to do some things in the 4th quarter when you were playing against, a mixture of reserves and starters. I think in the 4th quarter, Brian Flores really started to hunt Little Sewell, who had a really good game up until that point, but then after a while, it was just a lot of mismatches. So I think headed into Detroit, I'm still, watching what Ben does, watching what Caleb does, because it's going to be some growing pains. It's a learning experience for Ben, his first time as a head coach. So I think more than anything, I'm right where I was at, bro. Like, I still think they'll be 3-1 in some capacity in the first 4. So I think they may run off 3 straight before it gets real ugly. But I think the game on Monday wasn't as bad as we felt, just because in that moment to see them blow a lead and lose, it's like, damn, here we go again. But when you take a step back, it wasn't, it's not the end of the world.
Very mature take. I was ready to off myself after the first game, but I feel much better now after watching the Kurt Warner tape. I sat down and watched that whole hour breakdown. It made me feel something. I don't know if it was copium, but I sat down and watched all of it to make myself feel better. Bang, how do you feel heading into Detroit?
I agree with Dante to a point, or I'm on the same page. I won't say I agree. I'm on the same page with Dante to a point. Don't get my hopes up with that first drive. Like, it's been years since we saw a first drive like that. I mean, years since we seen something so crisp and so clean. My cousin called me and he was like, yo, I got to talk to somebody about this because it's been a while since we seen something go through the first drive, go through the way that it went. And really that first quarter, that second half, really destroyed all of my hopes and dreams of even an 8 and 9 season in the moment. Cause man, it felt like, and somebody said this, I can't remember who said it, but they said it felt like Caleb Williams had his first incompletion and he just went downhill from there. So my concern wasn't necessarily the accuracy or anything like that, actually. My concern was the mental stability. Because it did feel like as soon as things stopped going his way, it wasn't even hero ball. He was just lost out there. So that's what I got from it. That part of it has not changed since like going into Friday. My thoughts is still mental capacity and being able to mentally stay in the game and not get off track, just lock in. Is he able to do that piece? Because we have seen in his first season to where when things don't necessarily go the way that it's supposed to go, he kind of loses it out there. Outside of that, I'm not worried about a talent perspective. I'm not worried about the act. All of those other things are things that we expected to improve during the season. I just wanted to see a front runner.
And that's a very important thing to worry about. And I said before he got drafted that the pressure at USC is nothing compared to the pressure here. Because, and I can say that as somebody who lived there for a decade, USC is Los Angeles' pro football team. Like, I know that they got the Rams and the Chargers. Let's cut the shit. Nobody cares about the Chargers. They should have kept them in San Diego. And people have grown to like the Rams. If you a super old head and you remember when the Rams were there before, then yeah, you might still be a fan. I know they gained a lot of new fans since moving back to LA with Aaron Donald, Goff when he was there, McVay, Stafford, Odell, whole thing. But that is a Laker in Dodger town. So you're not, as big USC is. Dodger town. Also, USC hasn't been great since Reggie and Liner and Pete Carroll left the building. So it's a little different kind of attention on Caleb. I think that USC fans are just happy to be entertained. Here it's different. And, you know, especially different when you look at just the, I guess, like how bad it's been here. This team hasn't ever had a franchise quarterback. The best we've ever had probably is Jay Cutler. I know numbers wise will tell you Sid Luckman, but with all due respect, they had rubber helmets back in the day. I'm not really thinking about Sid Luckman numbers. It was Jay Cutler. And then probably two, you probably have to go Jim McMahon. Those guys are not what we would call great quarterbacks, right? Jay had all the tools, but he just didn't care, or he got hurt, and, you know, just the worst situations possible. And it's funny that we always talk about situations with the Bears because they're always putting their quarterbacks in shit situations. You can even go back to Jim McMahon's. You know, if you go back and watch the 85 Bears documentary, they say a lot of those 85 Bears say they didn't repeat in 86 because Mike Dick decided to play Doug Flutie right after when Jim McMahon got instead of playing Tom Zach, who was playing really good for them. So it's like we can just even look at their most successful era, and the Bears do dumb shit. So I think that you tackle on that patience and that you know, all those messed up things that happen. And I told my brother this. Me and my brother had a series of conversations during the game, after the game, on the way back from the game, everything the last couple of days. And he was like, "Yeah, it's one game." But like we both agreed, it's one game in a vacuum, but it's really decades of frustration depending on how long you've been a Bears fan. This team hasn't won a playoff game in 15 years. This team hasn't won a road playoff game in longer than that. It was 1994 was the last time they won a road playoff game. This team has lost 11 of their last 12 games. Since me and Dante were in London a year ago, these dudes have won 2 games since that day, which is almost a year ago to this point. So they've lost 6 home games in a row. So it's I'll be sitting up in a lot telling you I'm going to Detroit feeling good. I'm not at all. I don't have a great feeling about this game at all. I don't even even the score that I'm going to tell y'all at the end of this hour. I'm not confident in it. And I'm doing that because I'm trying to be positive. And I know I was one who told Bears fans be patient. But when I said be patient, I was looking at it from more of a scheme and a trying to get everybody to learn the offense perspective. I didn't expect Caleb to be that inaccurate. Like, bro, when I tell you being there, he wasn't close. Like on some of those throws. And I went back and rewatched the game. Now, the one encouraging thing I can say is a lot of former players, a lot of former quarterbacks say it wasn't that bad. This is why I sat down and watched the Kurt Warner breakdown. What's my man name? Backup quarterback used to be with the Bears. Chase Daniel had a great one. Even like Ben, you said Chris Canty, who stayed on Caleb Dick, even he was like it wasn't that bad. So to that point, I'm kind of fine, but I've got to see it consistently. Even if he goes out there on Sunday and he's hitting the easy targets, I'm not gonna feel about that until 4 or 5 games in a row, or something like that. So it's to the point now. Can he be consistent? Can Ben coach it out of him if it's able to coach it out of him? And does he have the work ethic? You know, that's a question. You know, we've heard about these different articles. And then, you know, Jalen Johnson, who was on the pivot today, and granted, I haven't seen this episode of the pivot yet. I was before all the complete error, so I can go back. But one quote that has hit the Twitter timeline is him saying, "Oh yeah, Caleb he's slowly getting there. His car's been in the parking lot a lot longer than it was last year." That's not necessarily a ringing endorsement. You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, I'm not feeling great about Sunday. But we got to take one game at a time. One thing about week 1, I don't care who you are, Bears or the Kansas City Chiefs, you're never as good as you looked, and you're never as bad as you looked. So that's why I think that'll be it. Now, the next topic, you know, you were talking about inconsistencies. We're all talking about inconsistencies. I forgot what I was listening to this week, but somebody was like, I think it was Waddle and Sylvie. Shout out to Waddle and Sylvie. And I think it was Sylvie who said, I don't think that he's going to be a bad quarterback, but I do think that there's a chance that he could be like Trevor Lawrence, or as we affectionately call him on this show, Trick Off Trev. Now, for the amount of shit that we talk about Trick Off Trev, that is not a good thing. That is not a good thing. Trevor Lawrence is inconsistent. He is inaccurate sometimes. His issue is more turnovers. You know what I'm saying? He fumble king. He intercepts all the time. But he got a second contract. He's probably the only guy from that 21-21 class from a quarterback perspective that you can say, yeah, he didn't pan out to what everybody thought he was going to be. but at least he got a second contract. I'm not ready to pick, to press the trick off Trev button yet. I'm gonna give this kid the entire season. I told myself I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give him the entire season. Do I think it's gonna take the entire season for us to know who he is? No, I do not think it's gonna take the entire. I think by December we'll have some sort of idea. But I'm gonna be fair, and I'm gonna give this man every opportunity, like I did his predecessors, like I did Justin, like I did Mitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give him the time to see that, and I think it's gonna be the same thing. I'm not ready to say that he's going to be trick off Trev, but I will say if he is trick off Trev, then this goes back to his bang, like I say, real team building hours. When you have a quarterback like that, you have to have damn near perfect team around to get the most out of him, because he's not bad enough for you to get rid of him, and he's not good enough for him to be a game changer. And then that goes back to Ryan Poles, who I just don't think, I never thought was the man for the job. And looking at some of the holes we've seen just in just one game, it makes me just more infuriated about what's going on. Like I always said, I understood the contract decision. I didn't like it, but I understood it because it lines up with it. Dante, what do you think? You think it's way too early to push the Trevor Lawrence button right now?
That's fine, my brother.
Whoa,
Okay, my bad. But no, I not yet. It's too soon. I just think it's more so the shock of him not being a can't miss prospect like he was projected to be. And I think this leads to similar to with Trevor Lawrence. You have a lot of guys who get overhyped, and we buy into the hype as fans, as media, as opposed to just letting it play out and letting somebody develop naturally in a professional setting. So I think it's too early with Trevor Lawrence. You have 5 years of sample size. It's not just a one-off. Caleb, you got 1 year under one coach, and it's a completely different regime now. So you have to take your time with that. So I think it's too soon to call him that, but I mean, you can start to worry because, like you said, some of the misses are bad. But when you have a Hall of Famer like Kurt Warner say everybody has misses, you start to say, okay, maybe he will eventually get through all of this and do what needs to be done. But for right now, I think it's way too early to press the trick off Trev. But
now we got to go to the man who gave the trick off Trev nickname. Bang, what are your thoughts on this?
While I agree, it is too early. He's what? Was 18 games? In the NFL right now.
Yeah, this is 18 games.
Yeah, so it is way too early. However, you are what you are, and you can try to build around being who you are, right? Because some of the things that concern me, is his preparation. Hearing JJ say, his car in there is longer. It's a double-edged outside longer. It's a double-edged sword. Because maybe it was in there a lot longer last year, but it's there a lot longer. People can take those quotes a little bit too far if that was the only quote. But we've heard in many occasions, in books and some of those things where his while he has the talent, the work ethic might not have been there. And when I say you are who you are, you start to look at college and even high school. Number one recruit, goes to Oklahoma, takes over for Spencer Rattler, goes to USC. Lincoln Riley is supposed to be a quarterback whisperer, but especially going to USC, we don't know what you were doing, especially in this NIL era, that was enabling this kid to be held responsible for the bad traits he was picking up. So a lot of people are probably looking at the talent of Caleb Williams and just saying all he needs is coaching. And people do run from coaching. So we gonna see if Ben Johnson, which I doubt, is going to run from this, which I doubt. But we also gonna see if Caleb Williams go through this and run from it. Because here's the thing I do want to stress. And this is not trick off Trev thing. This is doom and gloom. This is actually the opposite. because we didn't hear this about Trick Off Trev. We heard this man was the golden kid since his freshman year too, but nobody had any questions about the work that he put in. If the Bears get off to a slow start, you asked me last week about what happened if the Bears go out to a slow start. And I said that we might have some questions about Ben Johnson. I still stand on that. But if we get off to a slow start, this is not about, oh, we're going to change to Bajent or anything like that. This is not that. It's just Caleb here. He's not used to this. And even when we saw a glimpse of that at USC, I hate to say this, y'all, mental health matters, but he was crying in the stands. And that's what people are going to
mental health matters. Mental health matters. When we said that on the show 2 years ago, mental health matters.
So when you look at the Peyton Mannings, when you look at the Trevors, hell, when you look at the Bryce Youngs, this was always here. Like Bryce Young had a terrible game last week. They benched him. He came back. When he benched him, came back, he played better. That's what we're going to have to see with Caleb. If they struggle, how does he handle adversity? That, to me, is why that is the bigger problem than accuracy and all that.
And that's a perfect segue to our next topic, and that is Ben Johnson's patience. One thing I've noticed, I've had the pleasure of covering this man for the last 9 months so far. And I particularly like Ben Johnson. I'm not going to do the coach honeymoon thing. But I like Ben Johnson a lot. The reason I like Ben Johnson a lot for a couple reasons. One, we know how great of a play caller he is, and he actually call plays, unlike Matthew Nagy. And by the way, I have no problem with Matt Nagy's first. He's a cool dude. So just want to get that out there. I'm gonna do my Steve name. Matt, friend of the program, Nagy. But it's my brother, but I gotta tell the truth. So he actually called plays. But Ben is no nonsense. Ben is a great play caller. Ben is, to me, he's kind of a player's coach, but he's also a enforcer at the same time. So players like him, and he's not a bullshitter. He's not a bullshitter with the media. We had to play FBI with the last 3 head coaches, and I'm including Thomas Brown in that, because they didn't tell us anything. Ben is very transparent, and that I appreciate. Not just Ben. Ben's coaching staff. Declan Doyle will go up there, and I believe he's going to be a future head coach. He talks like one already. He told us the other day, like, yeah, DJ ran around the wrong route. I know people are going around saying that da. Yeah, Caleb, maybe should this, that, and the third, but DJ ran the wrong route. Was very transparent. That's why I like it. Ben has a very short fuse. Very short fuse. I've seen it in practice, seen it during camp, and I've even seen it with the media. Don't know if you guys saw today's media session. He kind of lost it, but he was a little irritated. When certain media members were asking questions about the last game, he was like, I know he wanted to say Jesus Christ, but he was like, can we move on to the next game? And shout out our guy, Herb Howard, and shout out to Herb for his new Herb Howard show. Go check that out. Shout out to the Bigs. He asked them, the thought about 0-2, and he cut Herb off. He was like, look, you're crazy. You're out of your mind. We're going to Detroit, and we're going to win a football game. So my question is his patience level. Now, I'm with you, Bang. I'm not saying that Tyson Bagent is going to start anytime this year. I personally feel that, barring injury, now if Caleb gets hurt, that's why you have backup quarterbacks. They come in and hold down the fort while your starting quarterback's hurt. Barring injury, I just don't see it. And the reason I see that is I don't care how impatient Ben is. He had his pick of the litter. Ain't like, he was a good offensive coordinator. No, he was the golden child for 12 months. Everybody and their mama wanted to hire Ben Johnson. In fact, he turned down the job after the 2023 season just so he could come back and he wanted the Bears. He wanted to have an opportunity to get that. And I even think now we're having revisionist history about Caleb draft status anyway. And he picked the Bears over other teams. And he was brought in here to fix Caleb and the problems that he has. So I can't see him, we 8-9 games through the season. He's like, all right, I've had enough. I'm benching Caleb. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't see that. Also, Ryan Poles. Extension or not, his job is tied to Caleb Williams and how he does well. If Caleb Williams is bad, he's not drafting another quarterback. Because we always talk about, the Ben Johnson didn't draft him. Guess what? Kevin Warren didn't hire him. So if there's one thing y'all gotta know, TED Talk runs that building. George McCaskey just signs the checks. And that's always something there. But as a Bears fan, as a Bears media, I don't want to go through that shit. I want him to get it right. And I like Tyson. I think everybody likes Tyson. That's what kind of annoys me about this conversation, because I feel like I gotta say bad things about Tyson when he's a great dude. Tyson's super cool. And he, for as far as backup quarterbacks go, he's a good backup quarterback. It's just he can't do the things that you need to be a starting quarterback. He can't even make some of the throws that Caleb made on Monday. And once you make that decision, there's no turning back. So I personally can't see that. But the question is kind of what you just said, Bang. What if Caleb's head isn't in it? What if he is a front runner? What if the moment is too big and he starts to lose the locker room? That to me is a more of a realistic issue, more than, it's just he's not playing well and we got to go to Tyson Bagent. Dante, what's your thoughts on Ben Johnson's patience and just overall week to week how he's going to be managing this way?
It would have to be an absolute dumpster fire for him. I'm trying to stop cursing. An absolute dumpster fire for him to just completely take Caleb out of the game. I don't think that's going to happen anytime in the season, unless he just shows you he is not grasping the offense and cannot, give you what you need. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to take the ups and the downs as a part of the process and a part of his evaluation process of Caleb, because as you said, he took this job because of Caleb. We could talk about everything else in his story, the history and all of that. He took this job because of Caleb, because he believes he had a talent that he could mold into a really good quarterback in this league. So he has to give him the time to try to at least attempt to do these things before you sit here and just say, nah, we're going to get bro up out of here. So I think as far as Ben's patience goes, he's going to be pretty patient, a lot more patient than we expect. So that may lead to fans being upset, but at the same time, like we say every year, Chicago Bear fans are some of the fans that we really don't have a leg to stand on in this. So being impatient and fussing and all of that, yeah, it's gonna happen, but you don't have to listen to it, because what do you have to stand on? What is the history here? We don't have a quarterback in our history that's been elite for a long time. Jay was cool, but even when we look at Jay, a lot of the times my dislike for him is really pointed toward the front office, because they didn't give him what he needed on the offensive line. The year we had a good offense, Jay was incredible. He got hurt a couple of years. He would break his thumb or do something silly, and that would mess it up.
He had a new offensive coordinator every year. He had to have had it. Yep. But then he got some chemistry with Gase. Then Gase went to go be a head coach, I think it was.
Yep. He went to Miami. Gase went to Miami after that.
He went to Miami. He got, we talk about Caleb sacks this year. This man, Jay Cutler, got sacked 72 times in the season, with 8 of them coming in that Giants game where I thought he literally died. So as much as Jay did Jay Cutler shit, it's bad situations. But it feels like Groundhog Day when we're talking about the Bears. They're always putting people in bad situations. That's just what.
Yeah. So like I said, patience wise, he's not gonna yank that kid unless he does something absolutely egregious, or if the attitude just turns up and it's all right, you're not listening. Now we gotta give you a wake up call. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I do think Caleb, like they said in the chat earlier, stop with the Superman's talk. Don't even say it. Don't even mention it. No,
please.
I need you to be Clark Kent before you can be Superman, bro. Like put the glasses on and report to the Daily Bugle and do your job. No, I don't want to sit here and talk about Superman and you can't complete a 5-yard in. What are we doing here? So I just think it's just everybody, Caleb included, just take a step back and just do the work, bro. We don't need to do the talking. I was 70%, 4,000. No, I need to look like a competent offense, not you just scrambling and getting rid of the ball.
I was sitting in my barber's chair, no pun intended, yesterday to get my haircut, and I was sitting there listening to my barber and a couple of the old heads playing. Now, this is a real barbershop. Niggas playing Teddy Pendergrass. It's at 4 in the afternoon. Niggas it's peak unction going on in this barbershop right now. And they asked me who I thought was going to win the Thursday night game. And I was like, shit, I hope the Commanders. And he was, the Commanders my team, man. Fuck the Bears. Da, da, da. And the whole Bears thing just went off. And my barber called him some I can't say on this show. But it was typical their era conversation when it comes to Caleb Williams. But whole time I'm listening to this conversation, I was like, damn, Bang really be knowing. He said if this season starts off slow, that this city is not going to have the patience. And
It's
you
not
combine,
happy.
and you combine what I heard in the barbershop, what I've heard on the radio, TV, Twitter. We're in full DEFCON 1 after week 1, and whew, they lose Sunday.
But
Babe, what's your thoughts?
Here's why. Here's why. The reason why that is the case, because the Chicago Bears have never been in a situation where they had a number 1 pick. They've never been in that situation. So when you get the number 1 pick in the draft, especially a quarterback that every pundit said was generational, what do you expect? And it does not help that Jaden Daniels did what he did. Now, I know we probably have a conversation about this a little bit later today about how Buddy been mid in the first 2 games.
We will be having a conversation about the check down merchant shit we've seen these first 2 days.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're looking at last year. And in looking at last year, you saw what you saw last year. And you saw that man look stellar and take them to the NFC Championship game. And also, when you add to the fact that out of all of the quarterbacks that Caleb played in his draft class, he's not beat. Now, you want to add all of the extracurricular stuff, nail painting and all of that stuff, because that's what's going to happen in the barbershop, go right ahead. But for all of the confidence that this kid has, we ain't seeing it. And the crazy thing about Chicago, and the reason why I think we're having these Bajent conversations more than anything, we're used to people that get it out the mud. We're not used to the people that get it with a silver platter. Even when Michael Jordan got drafted, folks was like, yo, he can't shoot a jump shot. He too small to be doing all that dunking in the league. He got it out the mud. Derrick Rose got it out the mud. Even if you want to look at hockey, reason why people like Patrick Kane, got it out the mud, so to speak, right? That's what we like. That's what we know. And Tyson Bagent got it out the mud. So that's why you hear that. So Caleb also has to come in and know and understanding that we don't give a shit about that elitist talk. Not only that, we don't give a damn about that Superman. We don't want you to be Superman. We just want you to win. Your ass could be Robin, Batman, Superman, Clayface, Dr. Doom, Thanos, Iron Man, Mole Man.
All them dudes.
All them niggas. You could be any one of them. We don't give a shit if you're not winning. You can't be Superman and getting your ass kicked consistently. And that's how we looking at you. And I see Bobby's thought. I don't want to say that that's fake. I don't want to say that Caleb, that's fake. I think Caleb believes his press clippings. It's just ain't matching. And that's why I think it's mental. That's why I'm scared of the mental. Because you know you the shit. You think you the shit. You've been the shit everywhere you went. But now you get to the league. You said you want to be the number 1 pick. And now you huff. He don't believe that. He truly believe that. So, but we don't care about that Superman shit. No. Nigga, you could be a random ass janitor at the Daily Bugle, fam. Just win. All right? Just hoop, fam.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point because, I don't believe it's fake bravado either. I'm with you. I do believe he believes it. But it's one of those things where it's like, because when he gets on the field, I feel like he watches his highlights and he'd be like, damn, I should have hit that. You know what I'm saying? Or, damn, I know better than that. I hit this against Notre Dame in this game. And I feel like he obsesses about his mistakes, which can be a bad thing, where I feel like we ran out of play sports at a high level, obviously, or any level. Let's be very clear about that. But I kind of feel like mistakes, the people who obsess over them are bound to make them again. And, we got to be real. A couple of the passes he completed on Monday weren't the best. You know what I'm saying? There was one that Cole Kmet caught was terrible, but Cole Kmet caught it. And so I feel like when he's out there, it feels a little bit robotic because, he's trying so hard. And I feel like, Ben said it's all about completions, stacking completions. I feel like he took that to heart and didn't want to take any big shots. When he did take the big shots, he overthrew. So if it is the the confidence thing, that's bad, because that gets me back to thinking about Mitch and turning them damn TVs off. So that's what scares me a little bit with that one. And so it's kind of like there's just so many questions, and I feel like Bears fans, we all want answers right now, and we're not going to get that right now. This is going to be an up and down process. If he goes into Detroit, has a good game, they win, and let's just say he has a great next 3 games, right? Against Dallas, against Vegas. And you go to the bye, you come back, and you get smacked up by the Commanders. He'll be definitely not one again. It's gonna take a full season. It really is. And I do feel that the fan base would feel better if he does start winning some of these one-on-one matchups with quarterbacks who are in his class. And I do think that's something that has been affecting him a little bit. So that's me. That's something to look at going forward. And this is all part of Ben Johnson's job to try to work with this. This is a full thing going on. And it's Bears fans ain't gonna have patience for it though. I say if you are, and I know that DJ mentioned before week 1 about the booing and shit like that. And I get players don't like it. I 100% get it. These tickets be like $400, bro. The concessions are even more expensive. Jerseys are expensive. The whole NFL experience is expensive. So if you go to these NFL games and you see a shit product, they're gonna boo. It's just they don't care who you are, and they're not in the wrong for that. If you're a Bears player or Bears coach, and I think it's just now hitting Ben Johnson too, you're not in Detroit or Miami. It's a different deal here when it comes to this football team, and the pressure is going to be on him as well. Admitting your faults is great, but you got to go out there and change it. And not, it's going to get worse before it gets better, and then it's going to be like an avalanche. That's my biggest fear, that we have the avalanche, because we're still in the avalanche from last year after the Jacksonville game. It hasn't really stopped, to be honest. It hasn't. We won 1 game in a year. So that's my thought. Any final thoughts we move on to like picks and preview? Okay.
I'm all good. All
right, so let's go on to the preview, man. Game is Sunday. It is a 12 p.m. start, Chicago time, 1 p.m. East Coast. Ford Field is, to me, the most underrated atmosphere in the NFL. It's one of my favorite stadiums to go to, more specifically because they don't have glass protecting the media booth. So it feels like I'm sitting in the crowd with the fans, which is what they do with the NBA too. NBA press box are nice and they're talkative. NFL press box, and Dante, I don't know if this is the same with Major League Baseball, but NFL press box are like a church. Like, it's quiet as fuck in there. So I'm just assuming MLB is like that. But at Ford Field, there's no glass, so you're basically sitting with the crowd. So that's a great atmosphere right there. It's a game that both teams need. I think Detroit needs it more than the Bears, because the Bears can lose this game, still beat Dallas and Vegas, and be at 2-2 like a lot of us predicted them to be at the first. If Detroit can't lose this game, go down 0-2. And losing those first 2 games to your division rivals, you just can't afford that. So I do believe it's going to be big. I think they're going to come out fighting. I think the Bears, for them to win this game, you got to take that first punch, because I believe they're going to come out all guns a-blazing. They're going to be running the ball. And I think that, we know a lot of their players are salty that been left. Obviously, they're happy for him that he got a better opportunity to got an opportunity to be a head coach, but they're salty he left. And coming off the loss, the fans in Detroit, I can say this because I got family in Detroit. We DEFCON 1 here. They had DEFCON 1 as well. A lot of their fans feel like they blew their shot 2 years ago in the NFC Championship game, and now they're thinking how's it going to be without Ben Johnson when it didn't look good with 1. So you got that aspect as well. Injury report came out today, so Jalen Johnson and TJ Edwards will be officially making their return. And Roschon Johnson will officially be making their return on Sunday for the Bears. That is a big boost for the Bears. Definitely need them. Kyler Gordon's going to be out again. Not good with the hamstring. I think Kyler Gordon, that people don't give him the criticism they give Jaquan Brisker, in my opinion, and both of them, in my opinion, are just as injury prone. Jaquan is his concussions with Kyler is his hamstring, so he will not be playing. Grady Jarrett was limited the last 2 days with a knee injury, but I think that's just some vet shit. I think he'll play as well. So for me, the game plan is very simple. take the things you did well on Monday and perfect them. Caleb, hit your shots. But more than anything, Ben Johnson, you got to help the young quarterback out. Ben, you were talking about you were upset with the play call in the second half. I was too. And I think Bears fans are a little bit too much in the honeymoon phase that they don't want to criticize Ben Johnson, but you got to do it. I didn't like it. Ben Johnson said it himself. So Ben's got to call better plays in the second half. And the running game, I thought it was egregious that you didn't give Calvin Nungai one carry. So with Calvin Nungai and now Roshan Johnson back, you got to use all three of those backs, in my opinion. Like, make the job easier for DeAndre Swift and let DeAndre Swift do what he's good at, and that's catching passes. And, he's not a running up the gut 15, 20 times a game running back. Roshan can do that when we think he can do that. Calvin Nungai, the jury's out on him. So use them. And I think you got to have to take advantage of your opportunities. I do believe there's going to be plays to be made for the defense. We all know that Jared Goff is going to throw you one or two every year. That's one thing that is mandatory that's going to happen. So they got to take advantage of that. But pre-snap penalties, you cannot have 12 pre-snap penalties like you had on Monday. I'm nervous that's still going to be a thing because it's very loud in Ford Field. They already talking about silent counts. I'm pretty worried about that, man. But Dante, what is your game plan for the Bears in order to win this, and what threats do Detroit bring?
I mean, you got to establish the run. That's the thing. I mean, we can't put everything on Caleb's shoulders. He's shown us that so far, when you do that, he has his moments, but it's going to be difficult. So, I mean, I think that's with any quarterback. And like we said, with that Minnesota defense, as good as they are, the fact that we couldn't run the ball, he was smoked from the jump. So it's a situation where you need the run game to really help him and help elevate that offense and make it more of a balanced attack. So I think, Ben knows that. And, Ben has always said for years that a staple of his offense is running the football. I don't know if that means we get more, DJ Moore out of the backfield. I think it's one of those situations where people are starting to realize DJ ain't the greatest route runner. So they want to get the ball in his hands as quickly as possible. With Justin, he was able to, freestyle routes and Justin find them, but he doesn't have that same chemistry with Caleb at all. So I think it's a situation where bro is really gonna have to lock in, help that run, have that run game help them. Detroit is still a team, they didn't get any pass rush last week. They look like a shell of the team that we saw the last few years, and so it's a thing where I don't think the Bears are gonna win this game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've tried to rationalize them winning this game, but I still think, like you said, to your point, going into a hostile environment and you still have the issues you have on offense with the timing and everything like that. I'm gonna go.
I like what we all just like. I don't know.
27-20 Detroit, but I do think we may see a little bit of improvement, but it will be more the same when you get the false start penalties, you get guys not in the right spots, and then. This will go back to your question about Ben Johnson's patience. How much patience will he have with a guy like DJ Moore, who's a vet, who's supposed to know, what's going on? How much patience will he have with those guys? So we're going to see. But I think Caleb isn't the only one that's under some pressure to actually perform. But I think, unfortunately, this week it ain't going to happen.
All of them dudes under pressure. Every last one of them under pressure. Like, there's a team full of losers outside of Joe Tooney and TJ Edwards. What I mean by losers, not actually these dudes are losers. What I mean by losers is they ain't won nothing. Joe Tooney and TJ Edwards are Super Bowl champions. So they're the only ones who won and had deep playoff runs and know what it takes. Everybody else don't. So everybody's fit. But when you're the quarterback, you're gonna rightfully get most of the shit. So Bang, tell us what the Bears need to do and what do you think about this Lions team? Because there's a lot of question marks about them already too.
So starting with the Lions, the very interesting part about this game is that the same questions that we might have about Ben Johnson is the same questions that the press may have about Dan Campbell without having Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn. New coordinators, offense didn't look good. The only thing I can say about the Detroit Lions right now is the fact that the Green Bay Packers looked very good last night. So maybe they're just that much better than everybody in that division. But at the same time, this team knows that they're under the microscope. And if you look at the Green Bay game and then look at what's going on right now, they are a team that needs to make a statement. So when you are a team that has to make a statement, then you are the team that really has to go out there and put a whooping on whoever you're playing. Bears need to play free. They need to play and understand that there's no pressure on them because people don't think they're going to be good. People are now warming up to the fact that Caleb needs to grow and all of that stuff. So they need to play free and understand that this is a growth process. And they need to rack up the small wins. Said this a couple of weeks ago. Small wins turn into big victories. Does the Bears have a chance of turning some small wins to big victories in this game? Hell no. I think that the Detroit Lions at home, with the Bears' issues that they're already having in the front line with some of these pre-snap penalties, over 100 yards last game, with the things that they need to deal with, the growth areas are still there, and these are the growth areas that affect that game the most, this game the most. I think the Detroit Lions are going to win by double digits.
What's your exact score?
Shit, I'm gonna say 30-10.
Whew. It's funny. That's the score I wanted to give. The score that I had on my heart yesterday when me and Mikey did the pregame in the preview show, and today was 33-14 was my original score. Like, I really feel like there's a great chance of blitz coming. Like, I just don't have a good feeling about it. But I'm gonna stick with my score I said on the pod yesterday. I said 27-17 Detroit. I do not feel good about that score. I would not surprise if they come out and just bum rush them. But I just feel like this is bad timing for this matchup. And I thought that before the season started. I always feel like when you have a matchup of this caliber, this should be reserved later in the season, like primetime Ben Johnson returning home. In fact, I don't even know why the actual game that should be. I don't know why you got Vikings, Falcons, and Sunday Night Football when Chiefs Eagles is right there. Maybe it's a network type of thing. I have no idea. But yeah, this is not a game that should be happening right now. In Detroit, if Detroit had won the first game, I might be more inclined to pick us. But the fact that they're just as thirsty and need this win even more than the Bears do is why I feel like it's going to be a shellacking. So I said that my mind is telling me 33-14. I'm going to use my heart to 27-14, 27-17, and that the Lions win that one. So we'll see how that goes. If you want a super full breakdown of this game, check out the 79th and Howard's preview pod. Dante and Bang are going to take a 20-minute break. They'll be back along with Courtney in about 20 minutes. I'm going to take a 1-minute break as we're going to get ready to bring Tosin on, and we're going to have this week's edition of Soccer for Dummies. So I will holler at y'all in a minute.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on display, haters old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Welcome back, everybody, to I'm Not Gonna Hold You here on the Barber Network, HB Media, and the Scott Lewis YouTube channel. Right now, we got the homie Tosin in the house, man. He's 1/4, 1/3. I don't know how many y'all, it's a lot of y'all, of Shirtless Plantain Show here, man, as we're gonna do another edition of Soccer for Dummies. But before we get to that, both of our teams took L's this week. How are you feeling about the Ravens going into this week 2?
I mean, they better win. That's all I got to say. There ain't nothing else to say. But between the Ravens, Man United, and Nigeria, I'm tired of sports, man. I don't like sports.
Sports and being a sports fan is quite possibly the dumbest shit you can do. Like, people think I was lying. I stood on the Soldier Field for about 45 minutes at the end of the game. I just stayed. I just watched Ryan Clark and Scott Van Pelt do their post-game show, and I just watched. Like, the good thing, like, I could just hang out over there without security telling me to get going somewhere. So I was just sitting there watching, and I was like, all right. And I told my brother, all right, let's knock out this post game. Like, my brother actually has a picture of him from the press box taking a picture of me on the field, and I'm just on my phone looking like I lost my best friend. Like it was dark. It was dark on Monday, man. But let's get into what people here to hear, man. We're gonna talk about some other football, European football, man, for this new edition of Soccer for Dummies. Premier League is back. I was this is not my first international break, because actually I came in after the end of the last international break in March. That's when I started watching. I'm not a fan. Granted, I would be rooting for Team USA, and I couldn't care less about Team USA. Especially, with everything that their manager. I know you guys did a pod on it. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's going to NFL. He's going to college football games, and he don't know what he's watching. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on Team USA. But as the Arsenal fan, who I feel like you look at one of our players and they get hurt, I was tracking each game just for fitness reports. So the fact that all my boys got back to London healthy is good with me. We're going to have another one of these dumb shits in a month. But last time we did one was in Brooklyn, and it was a couple days before the transfer window ended. And we were all talking about the possibility of Alexander Isak coming to Liverpool. That officially became a member of Liverpool. Now, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people, now granted it's media, I know how the sports media game goes. It's over. Arsenal, Chelsea, City shouldn't even try. So they're going to run away with this. But one thing I do know, it don't matter the sport. Super teams lose more than they win. It don't matter the sport. I looked up Galacticos, Real Madrid. They won like 1 or 2 La Ligas, and it took them a couple years. I think they didn't win until David Beckham was last year before he left. So there's always chemistry. There's injuries and things like that, but you can't deny that at worst they got the second best striker in the Premier League. I think Erling Haaland's number 1. But do you think they're unstoppable? And if not, how far does this put this across in front of the competition?
Yes and no. I think Liverpool are really, really good on paper, but it's just how do you gel? Because you got Hugo Ekitike there, right? Is Hugo going to go to left? Is there going to be a strike partnership with Isak? So I don't know what they're going to do. The thing that bothers me the most about Liverpool is their midfield. I just don't think that midfield is that good, but it's serviceable. They've been skating by in the first 3 games. They've been just getting away with just because they're just that much more talented. But now that we have Champions League starting on Tuesday, we got Champions League Tuesday, Wednesday. Now you're going to see the real season start. When you start seeing your teams are playing 2 games a week, that's when you start seeing. And I'm not going to call it until I start seeing them play twice a week. So Isak's going to come along slowly. That's what the coach said. He said that they're going to better him in slowly, but give it a couple of weeks, he'll start starting, and you start seeing how good he is. But I can't hold you. I'm not sure what they're going to do. And I want to see Liverpool play against the harder teams, the cities of the world, the Arsenals, just start seeing them against the bigger teams. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, and this is going to sound like copium too, but one thing I watched, and also watching we lost to Liverpool, nothing worse than losing for like bye week or like international break, because I had to hit dumb shit for 14 days. Arsenal playing to lose. And I'm like, look, man, Eze came in with the last 10, 15 minutes. And it was funny. Everybody was like, oh, why you start Marino? And then Marino goes and does a hat trick with Spain, which was fucking hilarious. And Mikel, being the psycho he is, they was like, you see what he did? But, there was other stuff that even with the injuries and the missing people we had, it came down to just an amazing free kick. So I do believe it's going to have something to do with that. And, everybody, the midfield, but to me, the defense is a question. They're one Van Dijk injury away from being officially fucked. That's why when they didn't get Mark Gahey, I was like, I'm leaving him some. That to me would have been more devastating than Alexander Isak. But I do agree, once it starts, and I feel like this upcoming week with the Champions League starting, you're already in the middle of the cups are coming. And you're going to be seeing different variations of different squads, which is, I feel like Arsenal have a slight advantage because the team is so stacked now that we can field a whole bunch of different starting 11s, and that can really help them out long term too. But one thing I will say about this before we go to the matches that we got going on this week is I don't think that Liverpool is unstoppable, but I do feel that there's a razor thin margin for error for Arsenal, and I'm not ready to bury City yet. I know a lot of people are. I'm just going to give Pep that grace that he can stay around. I don't know. Chelsea been getting away with VAR murder for the first 3 weeks, so they're still around by default as well. They get Cole Palmer back. But I feel like it's a razor thin margin for error. You're already down 3 points. You have to win these games in the month of September for this to be an actual, title race for that. Here's my question before we get to that, kind of on the Arsenal thing, because one of the main talking points was, sometimes Miguel he's too conservative. Do you think that's an official issue with this team, or do you think he's still just waiting to have his full complement of attackers together before he's ready to put it all out there?
I mean, I've said this before. You have to understand where Mikel Arteta came from. He came from Everton and Rangers. His two main guys is Alex McLeish and David Moyes. If you understand what those two guys were, you understand what Mikel Arteta is. So I'm never worried about the way that he plays. He's just who he is. He's a guy who played most of his career at Everton. He was a guy who was a decent player, and he went around kicking the shit out of you. That's what he did. So, it's going to translate into the way that his teams play. It's the same way I say Diego Simeone's teams are the same variant of him as a player. And I think the Arsenal fans are expecting what they saw with Wenger. They want to see more sexy attack and play. And that will come. I think the thing about Arsenal right now is that you guys are the best defensive team in the world by far. I think Gabriel's the best center back in the world. I think Saliba complements him very well. So Arsenal have a really good defense. That's how you build your team, right? From the goalkeeper to defense to midfield to forward line. So it's just now about getting all those parts together. You have Eze now. You have Madueke, who's doing well for England during the international break. So Arsenal has the talent, right? It's just about being patient, and it's just all about, not listening to fans online, because that's the problem. Is everybody online has something to say, and it's just calm down, okay? We're in September, right? We're in the middle of September 12th. The season ends in May. All I can say, and I can't even say in English, I got to say in Yoruba, calm down, farabalẹ̀, just relax. Everybody needs to just take a chill pill, all right? You'll see what you'll see what the team looks like November, December, January, February. That's when we start seeing a real Arsenal. So relax. You'll be all right. You're tough.
I think the patience is the word for everybody this week. And, like I said, people on the internet, I saw somebody tell Kurt Warner he was wrong about a route. MVP Kurt Warner.
Isn't
Super
Kurt
Bowl
Warner
Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I was about to say Kurt Warner's in the Hall of Fame. What are we doing
Hall
here?
of Famer Kurt Warner. That he was wrong about a route. So that's just how people are, man. But match before, we got a couple matchups this week. Tomorrow, before I head to Detroit, I'll be waking up early to watch Arsenal take on Nottingham Forest. They've got a new coach, INGHY Postecoglou, that's his last name. He was the Spurs coach last year. Obviously got fired as bad as they were, despite them winning the Europa League. So he's going to be coaching his first game. No Kai Osaka tomorrow. No Kai Havertz, even though Kai Havertz is doing better. Saliba did train today. They're saying that they're going to figure out if he plays tomorrow. I doubt he will. They're probably going to set him out for next week, since it's 2 games next week. But you got that game going on. You got the Manchester Derby. Obviously, you guys, taking on City. Donnarumma is going to be he's the new goalkeeper over there. You guys got rid of your terrible goalkeeper. A lot of things have happened as well. How much of is this a must win? I kind of feel like every game for United at this point is must win, but it feels like City really needs this too. And this is a very unpredictable rivalry here. What's your thoughts heading into this one?
So we have City this week, Chelsea next week, and then the week after that we have Brentford. Then when we come back from international break, it's Sunderland, Liverpool, Brighton. And then is another international break that we got Forest and Tottenham. All I'm saying is that Ruben Amorim is on very, very thin ice. He has to win, because if he doesn't win, he'll be the next coach to get fired in the Premier League. It's not looking good for him right now. But the only thing about Sunday for me is that both teams are hurt. The City more especially. What's it called is out. The guy that they got, Ryan Cherky's out. Omar Mamouche is out. So they got a lot of bodies injured. They just registered Calvin Phillips. So he probably ended up being one of their right backs as well. So both teams right now are in a weird place where both teams could be got at, right? I don't think our new goalkeeper, Sonny Lemons, is going to play. Sonny Lemons, I think that they're going to play Bayern Dieringo, which, whatever. I'm also not that big on Donnarumma. I think a lot of people don't really watch Ligue 1. I watch a lot of Ligue 1, way too much. And I don't think he's as good as everybody thinks that he is. I really don't. And I think that he's going to show a couple of times where he makes mistakes. He's a great goalkeeper when he wants to be, but those times he's not, you're not going to enjoy it. So Sunday is a toss-up. I'm going to grudgingly grit my teeth and say United are going to win, but I don't think we're going to win. but I don't bet against my team. I'm a liar. I'm gonna lie to myself and say we're gonna win. But I think that we might beat them 1-0, 2-1. I don't know, but we could start. We don't have Cunha. We don't have Mason Mount. So again, everybody's hurt. So it's just really just down to luck, and it's a derby. You know, everyone's gonna go out there and try to do bloodlust. You know, everyone is just like, listen, tactics go out the window. It's like, yo, we're here to fight. So yeah.
Very similar division games in NFC, not in NFC, but NFL period. You got to throw all the stats out the fucking window. For Arsenal, man, for me, with Arsenal, as I'm looking at it, I would love not to be upset heading on a 5-hour drive to Detroit, Michigan. I do not think that I will be. I think you're gonna. I won't say light work, but I do think we'll win by a couple goals tomorrow. They're a team. They had 14 people who were out doing international break as well. You got a new coach. Everybody talks about coach bump. I don't think this is a situation where these players hated their last coach. So it's not like there's something where they need to like rally together. But I feel like this is something where Arsenal has to do what they did with Leeds. Go out right away, take care of business, don't fuck around, and let's move on. Because next week, you got your first Champions League game on the road on Tuesday, and then you got City. Even though it's at home, City's always a tough matchup. That's why I feel like is this trap game alert for Arsenal for you?
No, because none of us is a very good team. It's just about Arsenal just has to go out there and be like, look, we're grown-ass men. We know what we have to do, and that's it. Just you have a job to do. Do your job. You get paid millions of dollars a year. Know how much you get paid. Know what's online and just do your job. That's really all it is for Arsenal. Just do your job. Be professionals. See it out.
So, final topic here, man. We take these next 7 minutes here before we begin the second half show. Courtney, Bang, and Dante will be rejoining us in just a minute. But Champions League does start. Champions League starts this week. I'm excited because I came in late with Champions League. My first Champions League experience was the Declan Rice free kick. Shout out our guy Serge. He was like, last time we were all linking up, he said I ain't had the heart to tell him he ain't like that all the time. But that was my first Champions League experience. So I'm interested to see from the league phase how this is all going to go down. I think Arsenal has a pretty favorable pot for the amount of teams that we've drawn. PSG, a lot of injuries right now. Doué is out, Dembele is out, all from international duty. As you look at the bracket and just the teams who are involved, one, who do you think should be, obviously we're just starting, the favorite, and two, who's a team that you could, I could see them being a little better than expecting, just ultimately way early pick who you think is going to win it?
I'm going to give you my favorite and the winner at the same time. I think Barcelona. It's Barcelona's time. I think Barcelona should win this year. Last year, they were just messing around. I think Barcelona should be favorites. But again, you can't really bet against the English teams. They're just too stacked. The Arsenals, the Cities of the world. Chelsea, again, I begrudgingly say that Chelsea are going to be solid to go to Champions League this year. So Tottenham's there. I think Tottenham's a lot sneakier, better than what a lot of people think. I really, really like what Thomas Frank is doing out there. So Tottenham's on the team. But the team I think is going to surprise a lot of people is Napoli. I love what Napoli did in the summer window. I really love adding KDB. I love adding McTominay to that. And they've done some really good transfers. So I'm excited as hell to see what Napoli looks like in Champions League this year.
Yeah, I agree. Napoli was a good team last year. Obviously, they won their league as well. And, KDB, he's not what he used to be, but he's still pretty impactful in these first couple of weeks as well. Barcelona, to me, is like the Golden State Warriors. Like, they just put up points, bro. They score goals. And it don't matter how many goals you up, they going to find a way. I do feel like that's something that obviously we saw didn't pay off for them when they got eliminated. I think it was in the semifinals last year. So that's something that can play around with. But to me, I do think they're a favorite, but I'm with you on the Spurs as well. I do think Spurs are going to be better than a lot of people think they're going to be. I like the Xavier Simmons signing as well. I think they've got a pretty good team, but I'm going to sound biased, and that's fine. I really like Arsenal's chances. I really do. Yeah. Because of the depth, that there's going to be some games where you're going to be able to run out these different lineups. And of course, obviously, Champions League, I would assume they're going to most of the starters majority of the time. I'm really interested to see how Makinde is going to play the League Cup more than anything, because, not to say, if you're doing the value, I'm guessing that's like lower tier. Like, unless you like a Newcastle or some shit, you ain't going to throw a parade if you win that. Like, I think if Arsenal won that, they're like, cool, that's good. put the trophy case and let's move on, you know. So I feel like it's going to come down to that. But what I've also learned in the short time of watching this, just anything goes, bro. Like it's anything goes, anything can happen. It's who you lined up against, and so that's why I think it's going to make it very interesting. To me, how do you think Liverpool plays into this as well?
Another team that's favorites too. I mean, look at their entire team. It's kind of just, again, the Premier League, and I hate people say the Premier League is a super league. I want to put a caveat to that. It's like, as somebody who's watched every Premier League season, well, not to obvious memory because it started when I was 2, but I was around. The Premier League, again, it's like the Clips, right? It's like they know what their lane is and they stuck to it, and they have their core fan base, and it just worked out for them for such a long time. So the Premier League has a really good distribution model of distributing their money to their teams, number one. Number two, they're an English team. Unfortunately, we live in a world where English is the main language. And number three is like they just stuck in their lane for a very long time, and the money just came, you know. So it's not a super league. It's just because they know how to market their product better than everybody else. Serie A was the league in the 90s. So La Liga had Cristiano and Messi and everybody in the 2000s, right? So now all these other leagues are struggling to keep up with the Premier League. It's like, hey, listen, it's not a super league. They just know how to market their dope better than everybody else. I'm sorry. This is what they do. But to your point about Liverpool, that's why they can spend so much money, because they're in a league where, you know, they're smart with their money and they can buy the Isaks and the Ekatikas of the world. So I think that Liverpool are going to shock a lot of, not shock, that's not a word, because Liverpool are on paper better than most teams. So Liverpool are going to be one of those teams that be favorites as well. I think Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Barcelona, PSG, Madrid, the big names are obviously going to be the favorites, right? So just at this point, it's just a matter of the draw to luck and, like, you know, how do you finish and are you going to stay healthy? Because not having Dembele and not having Doué sucks. You know, those are two of your best players in your team. So that's going to hurt PSG for a while too. I mean, they'll be
a long time too.
Yeah,
like 6 to 8, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm just want to see what Liverpool does. I'm watching the Champions League as a neutral this year. I'm not going to be a hater. I'm going to be an actual neutral. actually try to give actual, like, measured takes. I'm gonna try to be like Pete Schrager. That's what I'm gonna be this year.
Okay, final thing. We're gonna get you out of here. I know you gotta bounce. Chelsea got in trouble this week. Are they gonna get the Man City thing and nothing's gonna happen to them? Or do you think there's gonna be some actual repercussions there?
Man, ain't nobody doing nothing to Chelsea, man. We've all known since Roman took over, like, this was all shady. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and rehash everything. Like, if you were around in 2004, you know Roman taking over the club, it was not supposed to happen. I'm not sure if a lot of people who are listening know this. Chelsea and Liverpool both are, like, almost non-existent. In 2010, Liverpool almost stopped existing. Chelsea almost stopped existing. There was a point where Chelsea got sold for £1. If you want to go look that up, they got literally sold for £8. God, so yeah, Chelsea to me are just Millwall with a Gucci belt. That's all that they are. They got very, very blessed to have a really, like, Russian oligarch to take over their club and change their fortunes. But I'm gonna tell you this: ask anybody in London pre-2004, was anybody a Chelsea fan? If you were a Chelsea fan, you're a liar. I know maybe one Chelsea fan, that's my uncle, and that's it. So all
Chelsea is like your rich cousin. Chelsea your rich cousin who didn't get women before he got money. That's Chelsea.
Chelsea or Man City 1.0. Man City or Chelsea 2.0. They're literally cousins. They're big and little brothers. So I'm not here to be a hater. I'm just saying that's just what you are. You took your money, you did well with it, and you've won trophies, and you now are one of the bigger clubs in the world. So congratulations to you, but that's just who you are. So yeah, nothing's gonna happen to Chelsea though.
Tosin, man, we're gonna get you out of here. Let them know where they can follow you at, if you even want to follow you. And then what's coming up on Shirley's Plantain Show?
Don't follow me on any socials. I'm not on social anymore.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Don't follow me, please don't. Follow Shirtless Plantain Show everywhere. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, so we're everywhere. Follow Shirtless Plantain Show. We have the Arsenal edition should be coming out tomorrow morning after the game. The United edition should come out after the United game. Then we got the weekend review dropping on Monday. So yeah, we got Champions League edition on Wednesday. So yeah, we're always gonna have something new for you guys on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. So yeah, follow us everywhere.
I cleared out my schedule on Tuesday and Wednesday. All I'm doing on Tuesday is getting the flu shot and watching Champions League football all day. Because niggas just started coughing again. So niggas just started coughing again. Like, yeah, it's that time of the year. But we're going to holler at you next week, G.
All right, man. Be easy.
Yes, sir. That was Tosin, man. Shout out to him, man. Always great talking to the homie, man. I'm going to bring in the rest of the crew, see who's all here. I know Courtney is here. So we're gonna bring Courtney on. We wait for Bang and Dante. Courtney, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic. Look at you getting a haircut. Nigga ain't wearing a hat today. My bad. I know we're not supposed to say that no more.
It don't matter. We didn't cross that line by 8 times today. So
My
we
bad.
didn't try. Yeah.
Thinking
Yeah.
better
I had to
with the
the
haircut.
price I paid for the price I paid for this haircut to not jump into a senseless Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Justin Fields conversation yesterday was ridiculous. That one thing about old black men, you know, there's gonna be some slurs being thrown around. So let's just say it got real negative on my boy Caleb yesterday, man. But we got the full squad in here. Courtney, you can follow her at 1-800-CALLABRO. Joining us. Courtney, how you feeling about this sports weekend? What are some things you're gonna be looking at?
I'm probably gonna be watching everything from my couch because I'm not gonna hold you. Throat's hurting a little bit.
No, I saw your IG post. Yeah,
yeah, we're struggling.
Few things worse than when your throat start hurting and you like. Oh.
I can feel it right here, my brother in Christ. You don't even understand. I keep like.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but
I'm drinking.
Yeah,
tea.
that don't help. That don't. You know what I usually do? It never works, but because I just start taking Tylenol. I'm like, but let it go away. It's usually 72 hours. If I get past the 72-hour thread with sickness, I'm good.
So shout out to my best friend Charlotte. God bless her. I call her my friendager, my manager. So whenever we go out and we do our content and stuff, she's the person that handles like all the forms for people to sign, so I got your consent. Don't be trying to come back and sue me retroactively when I start getting the bag, She's like, I'll pick you up at 9 a.m. tomorrow. And I said, girl, I don't know. I'm gonna see how I'm feeling. She said, I'll pick you up at 9:15 tomorrow. Riding my ass. Okay. We all need people like that in our corner. But Charlotte, if you are watching this, girl, I'm gonna need you to understand because I got SMU TCU next weekend. We got a lot of football content coming up. Just got to make sure that I'm ready for it.
Y'all don't want to know the links I would go through to get Pappy to do shit. Like, and this is my roommate for 6 years. I would put like a door, like someone on this nigga door, and just like bang in the door, like to make him wake up. Or I'll lie and say something's 30 minutes earlier than it really is, so we can get on time.
Now that's actually that's the real team. You got to tell black people, like, if a reservation is at 7, you got to make sure you tell them it's at like 6:15 because they're probably not gonna get there until like 6:30, 6:45 anyway. Yeah, this one girl I dated used to live in Inglewood, and I told her one time outside when I'd be 10 minutes away, she don't be having waiting downstairs. Like, let's hurry this shit up. Right? Like we over here by St. Bernard. I'm not gonna be the nigga in the car when y'all catch me like Marlo be catching niggas. Absolutely not. But anyway, quickly, I just want to quickly talk about this. I really do not care about this topic, as you can see in today's headline. But it's been a topic for the last 2 weeks. So I feel like we got to get into this before we get into the nitty gritty of the NFL. While in it, Dante, I'm really interested in your opinion on this. Not that I'm not interested in Courtney and Banks, because I am. But Dante, I'm really interested in your opinion on this. I personally do not care for a couple reasons. Shout out to Pablo. He's doing great work. I hope he has amazing security. Because if that Jalen Brunson story come out, he gonna need it. If you know how New Yorkers are. But I personally don't care because one, Kawhi don't play enough for me to care about this. That's number one. Number two, there's a whole bunch of crazy stuff that goes on in the background with NBA owners. I have no problem with NBA players getting side money. I just don't care. But Dante, what do you feel about this situation, the new news that we've gotten from Pablo Torre today?
I think it happens a lot more than we think. I think the fact that Pablo found it is just a testament to the fact that a lot of people see these things and just turn a blind eye. Because, at the end of the day, like even when it came out, I had some people ask me, well, what's the significance of this? It's like, well, it's against league policy. He's circumventing the salary cap. And so, other owners probably do it. And the whole no-show endorsements, the fact that it's allowed, if it's allowed, then that's fine. I think the league should just come out and say it. Hey, we let people do this. This is a billionaire business, mind your business. I think that would be a lot smarter than sitting here and acting like it's just a one-off. Because even when Mark Cuban came and sat down with Pablo, when he was done talking, I wasn't convinced that he didn't do it before. Because I remember everybody was always like, well, how did he pay Dirk them last few years?
He did that shit with Dirk.
Yeah, like it's always stuff happening off the book. So it's nothing that's surprising to me. People's reaction to this thing that I'm worried about, because as we see in this climate with everything, is like people get weird. And like you said, fans attacking people. Like even we saw the video during the playoffs when the Knicks fans were getting that windy. Like you have people who feel like they have ownership of the team as opposed to just being fans, and they can start crossing certain boundaries. So we don't want that for Pablo. But in terms of the story, I'm interested because I want to see just how deep he can dig and how much he finds. Because a lot of times people, when they have that much money, they get really arrogant and they just do things. And it's like, well, who are you to stop me, or who's going to even catch it? So it's interesting. I don't think it's like necessarily evil or anything like that, but it's like, you breaking the rules, like, but you cheat to win. Like, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's how some people say. So and it also matches up with, remember, Jeannie, the reason Kawhi is not a Laker is because she flat out told his uncle, get the hell out of my face. Like, we're not doing none of this. So I think it is true. And I think it's something that we should keep monitoring because they're not the only team that do it. I think they're just the first team to officially get caught doing it.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not ignoring the chat. I was scrolling down. I wanted to be closer to the find button, so I'm not ignoring the chat. This is what happens when the kill's not here. Okay, I'm doing as much as I can. So I didn't ignore the chat. Orlando, I don't know why you call Tosin man of God. He is not. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, I think that's a good point, Dante, with the way fans be acting with stuff like that. And it's just funny that Kawhi really had a Sopranos gig, the no-show gig. I mean, when they had the construction and Chris was up like once a month to do that, and that's probably what would have had us going away. Pablo, if he just shot a commercial, we wouldn't be questioning this at all. So, Bang, Courtney, y'all have any take? If not, we can move on to last night's game.
We do not care.
Yeah, one, I don't care. Because two, this happens. You could not tell me that this does not happen. He just got caught. They just did it probably sloppy. This is a new owner. He learned some shit. He was like, okay, let's do it. I think the biggest thing is, I think the worst part about this is that you did this and what did you get in return? I think that's the bigger conversation. You did this and what did you get in return? Now, I did see something to where, and I don't know how true this is, but once he got paid, he started playing more. If that equated, now
that's fact.
Now, okay, now that is the part of this where I care about. It's like, oh, so you withheld your shit until then, huh? Oh wow, that's the part that I care about.
Yeah,
outside of that, man, it's like
hearing stuff, like hearing them say that he had a $1.75 million payment that was late. So Barber invested $1.99 million and the payment was suddenly made instantly. It's like, come on, shit like that. That's the stuff that catches your attention.
I don't necessarily have an opinion per se, but I do want to acknowledge that this would be a much bigger story if people, it might be controversial if people still cared about the NBA.
No, I'm gonna go even further. It would be a bigger story if this is the Lakers.
Oh, for sure.
if this is LeBron getting paid.
It was a big market though, and Kawhi Leonard is,
it would be a much bigger story. It'd be a much bigger story if the team actually won.
But
it would be a much bigger story if the team was actually successful.
Counterpoint to that, compared to the Donald Sterling Clippers, they are extremely successful. They remember Sterling. Sterling is the Lob City Clippers, so he's completely turned that franchise around. So in terms of what he's done, it kind of matters because it's like you've taken this. Go ahead.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The problem is they still ain't won nothing, so they kind of still look kind of second class, even though they got a new stadium. It looks great. It's big as hell. They are more successful than Donald Sterling, but it's still but it's the Clippers. What they supposed to do? If it would have been a team who won a championship or went to a finals, all hell would have broke loose. But it's almost like, remember when Minnesota did it with Joe Smith? It was but KG was on the team. They paid him under the table. It's like, you did this and didn't win.
Pablo hinted at the Jalen Brunson thing. Hear me and hear me good. If that becomes a story, that's going to get traction because this is the New York Knicks we're talking about. And a very good New York Knicks team who has gone further. Well, actually, no, I forgot. Clippers went to the conference finals a couple years. I was at the game. but they both been to the conference final, but this is the Knicks. So I feel like in that aspect, it'll help a little bit. Also, I'm with you. I'm with you too.
No, wait a minute. The other part of that too is the deep cut. Like he took damn near $100 million pay cut.
No, it was like
he
130.
getting that from somewhere else.
It was like
and his daddy on the team. So it's even more than that. His daddy on the team. He took damn near $100 million pay cut, and they still didn't win shit.
Also that's why.
Sorry, go ahead, Scott.
No, I was just gonna say this, Courtney. I'll go to you. Also, with the potential Jalen Brunson thing, I don't know if y'all saw Levitard this morning, but he was on Levitard this morning, and Pablo said the reason why my information comes out slower because I'm on the phone with my lawyer. He's like, so I just want to make sure I got everything 100% good. So if legal stuff comes through, so that's why when he was on Dan Patrick and he hinted at Jalen Brunson, he just collected his fouls right now. That's going to be the next big shoe to drop. Go ahead, Courtney.
All I was going to say is I think it's kind of silly that, like, you're one of the wealthiest men in this country and you're up here saying, oh, I got conned. I had no idea. Be so for real. Yeah. You don't get to that point.
Top 5 richest men on this earth.
Correct. You don't get to that point in your career and in business and acquire that amount of wealth without recognizing the loopholes that you can go through to, again, in this case, circumvent the salary cap. Please spare me they conned me too. I had no idea. Steve Ballmer, please. Brother, please.
I knew Steve Ballmer was panicking when he went to fucking Bristol to talk on ESPN. That told me.
Oh, yeah.
Right there. I was like, owners don't do that. That told me everything I need to know. But let's move back on to the NFL last night, Thursday Night Football in Green Bay, or that shithouse up north. The Packers won 27-18. Moving to 2-0 on the season. The defense looked fantastic. Micah Parsons played a little longer. He says he wants to. Hopefully, he's a full go next week, is what he said. Not hopefully for me, but I hope he don't. But he wants to go out there and play even more. But their defense was dominant. Jordan Love was fake decent. 19-31, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns. This was, we talk about elite hate watches. I don't get anything from other teams when they're playing the Packers. Like, nothing. I know we got a little beef with Commanders Reddit or whatever, but last night I was rooting for y'all and y'all failed me. Okay. Bobby Radney, he looks old. Jaden did look like Caleb yesterday. It was bad. It was bad yesterday. He didn't look great against the Giants, but it was bad yesterday. But from a Packer perspective, I won't be put in the chat when everything went down, and shout out our guy Mikey. And Mikey's like, I'm not really worried about Mike. And I was like, bullshit. I was like, I never want to admit when the Packers are going to be good. But look at the landscape of the NFC outside of the Eagles. This is before I saw them play a game this year. I was like, they're going to be a problem. I'm even more convinced that they're going to be a problem. Because the Packers, even when they're just like, okay, they win games. This could be a 12-13 win team right here if this defense keeps playing the way they're playing. Courtney, what did you see yesterday, at least we'll start with the Packers, and what you think that this can, are they as great as how they've looked these first 2 games?
Yeah, they looked really good. The Packers looked really good. And when you have a defense like that, it kind of, I know we're saying Jordan Love looked fake decent. I know he trucked, who was it? Amos. I think it was Amos.
Yeah, it was Amos.
Yeah. That Commanders defense did not look great. And because of that, it made Jordan Love look really good. But again, when you have a defense like that, I guess you don't really have to be like an elite quarterback. I'm not saying Jordan Love looked bad. Jordan Love looked good, but you don't have to be like top 5, be elite in order to be successful. And he kind of proved that last night. The Packers looking good. And say what you will, I saw Micah's stat line. I don't think the box score watchers won't be happy about it, but yeah, that's a difference maker. And the Cowboys are fucking stupid. The Cowboys are so stupid. Jerry Jones is a moron.
You had them Hicks in Green Bay chanting, "Thank you, Jerry." And I feel like Bump on the wire. You happy now, bitch? That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, Orlando. Ryan Gosling's offensive regression is finally here, brother. It was glaringly obvious. I was really disappointed by their offensive scheme, and not again. I'm a fantasy football like diehard, so I do think about things a lot of time when I'm watching games from, and I'm like, why is Austin Eckler's old ass like? Why are we putting him in these positions? And then he tore his Achilles.
And
I
you
don't know
traded
that
Ryan Robinson.
you literally
to the
have a rookie.
Niners.
You have a rookie running back that literally went off again. I think I'm just a week ahead of time. I think Krosky Merritt will have a good game next week. But yeah, that was a really poor offensive game plan.
Joseph, that is a hilarious comment that I am not putting on the screen. That was funny though, and I agree. But yeah, the fact that I found out that Ryan Poles didn't even call them, it just pisses me off. We're not gonna stay on Mr. Sperry over there. But yeah, I didn't like what I saw. It frightened me, to be completely honest. Obviously they've got 16 or 15 more games up. A lot of time, a lot of stuff can happen. But they look as good as you could possibly look right now. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about Matt LaFleur, or Ryan Gosling, as he likes to call him, like he knows how to call a game. And their defense was like one of the things that was, I guess, like a weak spot. Let's be very clear. Jordan Love gonna give you an opportunity. He gave the Commanders a couple opportunities yesterday. And that's just the kind of quarterback he is. He is in he's in the DAC tier. He's in the mid, he's like 10 to 13 quarterback tier where he's good, but he can do stuff to mess it up for you. But Micah, that defense looks like the Bears did in 2018 when we just got to lead them. It was just like, oh my God, all these guys are just getting to the quarterback. Then they had like 50 sacks that year. It's looking like that. And I don't think the Packers got the individual talent on the D-line that the 2018 Bears had, but they look pretty good so far. And I don't think that's good for the Bears. And I don't think it's good for the Lions. That's why I feel like the Lions have to win on Sunday. Because if the Lions let us come in their house and beat them, they're done. They're cooked. Because now you done lost to us. And now you let the Packers get a 2-game lead up on you. A team that already beat you up. So that would be tough for them. Bang, I know how you feel about these Packers. We all feel about them. Did you see anything last night that really concerned you?
Fact that the Packers looks amazing. Man, hold on. All right.
Oh. What's it like?
Okay.
What's it like? That's crazy.
Right.
Me and who?
I see you, big dog.
He must have
you know what I'm saying?
time. That's why.
Black love. Black love.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
We get it, you're married. All right.
And you tell my wife that. All right. Yeah, but no. The Packers, I never want to give the Packers any credit. Y'all know that. I said when all of this stuff happened that I can't wait for them to be in the ghetto. They ain't. That defense looks so scary. And to make matters worse, Matt LaFleur last night looked so comfortable. He looked so comfortable. Matt LaFleur has a defense where now he don't have a care in the world. He could be aggressive. I could go for it. I could go for it on 4th down at your 30 and not give a damn. I could go for it on any side of the field. Oh, Jordan Love might throw an interception. Who gives a shit? You see that defense I got? You see that defensive line I got? Oh, we traded Kenny Clark to get who? And we got Rashawn who on the other side? Man, I don't want to say what I'm about to say, but maybe I need to change my Super Bowl pick. I came on here and I said Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not what I saw last night. What I saw last night was a team that offensively, if Jordan Love just do what he did a couple of years, 2 years ago, shit, he could do what he did last year. Throw some interceptions like you did at the beginning of the year. We okay.
I don't want to make people even more scared, but they gave the Eagles their best fight last year.
Yes.
The Packers gave them their best fight last year.
Now, on the flip side, I said this a couple of weeks ago too. Hey, you can talk all that shit about Jaden Daniels and Cliff Kingsbury all you want to, But that year 2 Cliff ain't the same as that year 1 Cliff. And last night, Ryan Gosling and Dan Quinn was looking confused as hell. And I ain't realized how weird Jaden Daniels looked. Like, so he just looked weird.
That's because
weird,
his mama.
man.
That's because his mama won't let him be around the slores that he probably wants to be around.
That's weird body ass dude out here trying to play quarterback. It's like, what's going on? But yeah,
Mama
Jaden
let him do
Daniels-
his thing. He a rich black man out here. Let him be around the slores. Let him have his fun.
Yeah, but no, Jaden Daniels didn't look impressive against the Giants. He damn sure didn't look impressive last night, to the point where all this motherfucker had to do is complete that last pass that was a duck last night, and I would have won $100. So fuck him too. Fuck him. Because I know you laughed at my post, Scott. You kissed my ass.
Yeah.
I
Quickly
laughed.
was that
I just
fast.
didn't react. The song
I
choice.
just complete
like,
that one damn pass. That would have been
Man,
100 in my
I
pocket.
checked my phone like 5:30 in the morning. You know, you come from the bathroom, you check your phone out. Let me go. I saw Bang post the first thing. I saw. I literally yelled. I laughed. I almost woke up the house on that song choice. But before we get to
man,
Jay,
they got. But yeah,
No,
the Commanders offensively. Hey, Cliff Kingsbury, season 2. Good luck. God bless.
before we get to the Commanders, I give my take on them. Dante, what do you feel about what you saw from Green Bay yesterday?
I mean, I already told y'all they win in the Super Bowl within the next 3 years. Like, I wasn't joking when I said that in the first show. Like, this is a very good team. They're doing what they always do. Good luck and God bless to everybody else, including us. But no, my opinion ain't changed since the last time you asked me. The Green Bay Packers are very good.
So let's take this time to slander other people. So Jaden Daniels, look, this is what I gotta say about this. Jaden Daniels, I'm not gonna do the typical Bears fan thing. I'm like, look, he's bad too. No, him being bad or good has nothing to do with Caleb. If Caleb asks. It don't matter about nobody else. I'm not gonna be doing that. But I will say this. He's very obvious he has a lot of credit in the bank, and he should. He took his team to the NFC Championship game in his first year playing quarterback in the NFL. But these first 2 games, brother, they have not looked good. We already talked about how Bomani Knicks looked on Monday, and we'll see if it looks better for him this week. Did not look nice against the Giants ball team. He looked downright horrible yesterday. He can't throw from his left. He wasn't hitting the gimmies. He wasn't hitting on his home run balls, nothing. He just looked out of order. That's probably the worst that I've seen him look. And to me, that's why it's very hard to say who's good and who's not good. CJ Stroud looked like a world beater 2 years ago. I don't know this man. In the words of Kiki Palmer, I'm sorry, I do not know this man. That's how I feel when I see CJ Stroud now. His inaccuracy is off the charts. And I don't want to push the alarm on Jaden. It's 2 games, but not the best start for somebody who does a lot of game plan on him. And now defensive coordinators have somewhat of an idea on how to guard him, man. So the bad thing for the Commanders, they got a tougher schedule. They've got a first place schedule. Not first place, but they got a higher schedule than last year. I forgot because the Eagles won the division. But they got a higher schedule than they did last year. And that defense is old, which we all said. They're the oldest team in the NFL, which is funny. You got one of the youngest quarterbacks, but the oldest team. Bobby Wagner is washed. That Von Miller, if this was 2014 and you had Bobby Wagner and Von Miller, oh, you eating. But it's not. We're a couple months away from 2026. That is not going to work out. So that's a problem. Ryan Gosling's offense might be a problem later on. And yeah, it just didn't really look good yesterday. So he went 24 for 42. What are you even doing throwing the ball that much? Because their running game, 51 total yards last night. In fact, all 3 of their rushers had 17 yards either. You had Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, don't even know who he is, 17 yards.
Really?
Austin Eckler, I don't know who he is. I'm sorry. I don't know. No disrespect to him.
That's crazy.
Nah, no disrespect to him. I just don't know who he is. Austin Eckler, he's old. He tore his Achilles. He's cut probably. He cut 17 yards. Jaden Daniels has 17 yards. So this is all bad yesterday, and you got your quarterback out there throwing the ball 42 times, got sacked 4 times, and it just didn't look good. Courtney, what did you think about Jaden? How concerned should Commanders fans be?
I wouldn't be too concerned. I try again not to overreact in week 1 and week 2. I think we'll know a little bit more about this team and where they stand by like week 4, but I'm not too worried. I do think it was a terrible, again, offensive game plan. You can write that off to whoever you want, Cliff Kingsbury. I said it in our private chat that Matt LaFleur stays kind of carving up Dan Quinn in like all the times from what I recall, and this is like not abnormal from my memory. So I wouldn't put too much stock in it if you're a Commanders fan. Packers are a good looking team, and I think the Commanders will bounce back in week 3. Also, short week. I like to give teams a little bit of benefit of the doubt. Short week. It's not easy to come out and play, fantastic football.
Yeah, on a Thursday night. If you get my dog barking in the background, I'm about to take this nigga outside in a minute. But Dante, I'm with Cat Williams say, nigga, do you know we can see you? We see your whole conversation in the background. But we're gonna get to the preview part of the pod. We're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna go through our week 2 picks and everything, see how this is gonna go. Courtney, funny. But let's start with the end of the AFC North matchup this week. We got the Browns at the Ravens. Tosin said this when we were doing Soccer for Dummies, that the Ravens better win this game, and that's my analysis as well. They better win this game. And I do think they'll win this game because, the old saying, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have none. Well, with the Browns, if you have 4 quarterbacks, you have none. I'm going with the Ravens in this one. We'll go me, Bang, Dante, Courtney. Bang ain't hit nothing I said. Who you got?
You should go the other way. What'd you learn?
Yeah, we'll go the other way.
Go the other way because I responded to a text.
Okay, go ahead, Courtney.
I'm going Ravens, and I don't think it'll be particularly pretty. I know I'm thinking about that battle for Ohio last weekend, and the Browns are not very good. I'm sorry. Shout out to Myles Garrett though. He is very good. But the Ravens win this game handedly.
Yeah, bro, I'm going Ravens. The Browns, I ain't got nothing for the Browns right now. I think, that's a team that's in flux. It's not a team we really got to worry about. The Ravens is going to be a bounce back. I think Ravens by at least 2 touchdowns.
My bad. I saw something good for work and I had to send that text out. Hey, man. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dylan Gabriel era begins because the Ravens going to put Bout to ass. Joe Flacco might get that. Hey, man, we still the homie, but we whooping your ass. The way that defense played last week, it's got to be Boot ass too. They have to make a statement. Ravens by 20.
Wouldn't shock me for that either. Jaguars at Bengals. This is a nasty game. Nasty. Hey. I'm just tired of anything with the Jaguars. But I'm going to go to Bengals. Bengals in the crib. Go Bengals. Didn't look pretty in week 1, but a win is a win. And this defense isn't as good as Cleveland. So I'm going to go Bengals in this one. Joe Burrow and then put up some points.
Can I say something controversial?
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I think the Jags might win this game. I'm picking the Jags. I don't like what I see from the Bengals right now. Again, I try not to overreact in week 1. They could very well bounce back. I'm not saying that the Bengals won't put up points, but I'm not impressed by anything I see on that offensive line or that defensive line. I'm taking the Jags.
I, too, am taking the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Joe Burrow's going to put up a lot of points. I don't trust the Jaguars yet. They say Travis will get more snaps on defense, but, he's a slot receiver right now. I think it's one of those things where the impact just isn't going to be there right out the gate until, they find ways to keep him open and let him get the ball in his hands. So I think this is the game where Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, the proven commodities will show you, why they are who they are. So I'm going to go Bengals.
Man, Jamar Chase is going to cook Travis Hunter. This is going to be that welcome to the NFL.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have.
It don't matter what side he go to, he cooked.
Yeah,
Because you got T on the other side.
And here's the thing: I would have low key picked the Jags if the Jags had a little bit of a defense themselves, but they don't. So Travis Hunter getting cooked for 2 touchdowns. The Bengals are going to win by more than 4.
I said it was controversial, guys. I did say it was controversial. I don't even know if I fully believe it.
It's not that controversial because the Bengals could do something stupid like that. So I don't think it's that controversial.
I just don't put it past them. I just don't
put it past them. Yeah, I don't put it past them either. I'm just picking them because they at home.
Terrible last weekend.
Which it has Burrow in
perpetuity.
So the reason I'm picking them because they're at home and Travis Hunter guard. That's what it's gonna be like when he get T or
he's not guarding Jamar Chase. He will be in the slot. Like he is not going anywhere near Jamar Chase. Let's be crystal clear about that.
He better not.
Like it's not gonna happen. Like that's why the idea of him playing both sides, they need to put an asterisk next to it because he's gonna play both sides, but it's not gonna be wide receiver 1, CB1. That's not happening.
He better not guard T. Higgins either. He better guard Andre, whatever his last.
That's what I'm saying. Like whatever tight end he trying to guard too, he might get cooked too. Like I don't like whatever. I don't like him out there. Period.
He might get cooked by Noah Fant. He might get cooked by Noah Fant.
Exactly. Right. I don't like it. He got that new haircut too. I don't know. And that ain't got nothing to do with his defense, but no.
Someone on the Twitter web said that he looked like that smiling orange. Remember the orange that had like the big mouth?
No. Now Damien said he looked like a Ninja Turtle. Damien said he looked like Donatello.
Group chat.
He looked like Michelangelo after he got a pizza box.
Yeah. But NFC East matchup, the Cowboys are back in their mini bye. After losing their season opener against the Philadelphia Eagles, they will be taking on Russell Wilson and the New York Giants, who last week we were on here talking about was he going to get benched. But they said they're going to keep him in there. At least Dave Ball said they're going to keep him in there for now. I think the Cowboys win this. I did not like what I saw from the Giants last week. Cowboys should have beat Philly, but they took the foot off the gas. But I don't like the Giants. I don't like nothing they got going on. And I think that Malik Neighbors will be asking for a new team by a trade deadline. I got the Cowboys winning this one on Sunday.
Yeah, I also have the Cowboys. And I don't really want to pick the Cowboys because, I mean, the Cowboys, wow, imagine if they had like this guy on defense that like was a real difference maker, especially with Deron Bland that's going to be out now. Like, imagine if they had a guy.
What? You mean like a defensive end who could possibly help them?
They could like. I'm not saying the Cowboys would be like contenders, but Cowboys are going to win. But that shit still pisses me off. I'm not even a Cowboys fan. That shit pisses me off.
The Giants stink. Cowboys.
Y'all want to hear something controversial?
Oh.
Giants by a game-winning field goal.
All right.
Okay. I mean, it's NFC East ain't happened, and the Cowboys do tricking games off maybe better than anybody the last 30 years.
And
so
that weak-ass offensive line versus that tough defensive line of the Giants. I'm going to pick the Giants by 3.
Patriots at Dolphins. This is nasty. The Dolphins are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. I got my man Drake May. I got Mike Vrabel getting his first win as Patriots head coach. This is not good over there in Miami right now. I'm going with the Patriots.
I'm also going with the Patriots. Even without Christian Gonzalez, I can't help but feel like if you're having a players-only meeting in week one, you're cooked. Like
that's crazy. Yeah.
A week one players-only meeting is absolutely diabolical. I don't like anything of what I'm seeing from Tyreek Hill. I don't know how long that relationship is going to last. Honestly, I would not be shocked if he's on a new team at some point in this season. When's the trade deadline? Like second week of November, first week of November?
Yeah, second week, around that time. And now that the NFL trade deadline is actually a thing, I don't think he's going to be on the team either. Not only that, I think he's going to be on the team. I think Mike McDaniel will be fired for the trade deadline. That's what I see happening.
This is gonna be a terrible game.
Yeah, it's gonna be real bad.
I'm gonna pick the Patriots. I'm gonna reluctantly pick the Patriots. I just think the Dolphins, that ship has sailed. You know, Tyreek Hill, he's gonna ask out of there if he's not arrested at some point this season. So I think it's one of those things where I don't have too much faith in the Dolphins. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
While I don't have no faith in the Dolphins, I definitely don't have no faith in the Patriots. Drake May looked ass. Like ass with a capital ass. I'm going with the Dolphins.
Ass with a couple ass. You know what's ass this next game? Mac Jones versus Spencer Rattler in clear Fox HD. This game is gonna be god awful. I have no idea who's gonna win. Brock Purdy is not playing. What's my man? George Kittle is on IR. This game is in New Orleans. Man, I know the Saints played a little better last week. But I'll take the Niners. This game can go either way. It's not a game that I'm be paying any attention to on Sunday, but I'm gonna go Niners in this one. But it's a trash ball.
I mean, if the Saints are going to win 4 games this season, like I predicted, they got to start somewhere. And I can't help but feel like with a banged up wide receiver core, you got Mac Jones at quarterback, no George Kittle. If you're going to win, I feel like this is the weekend you win. That being said, Kyle Shanahan did want to draft Mac Jones. He wanted Mac Jones. It was between Trey Lance and Mac Jones, and that's his guy. So he's finally, like Joseph in the comments said, he's getting his guy. It would not be a surprise to me at all if Mac Jones balls the hell out. I'm still going to reluctantly take the Saints, but that being said, I think the Niners are going to win this game.
I saw that comment super late. I didn't mean to throw it on there. But yeah, Nick Russell might have a crazy day.
No, he definitely is. But no, I'm going Niners. I'm going Niners. Niners. Kyle Shanahan finds a way with any quarterback you give him. So I'm not really concerned about them playing without Brock Purdy. So I'm going Niners by 2 touchdowns.
I'm gonna keep my comments to myself of what you said. But no, man.
My face, I was taken aback.
I wasn't. Hey, look.
Very well.
Look. The fact that Shanahan finally got his quarterback is one thing. But if we go with the trend of people being developed, we gotta do that with Mac Jones too. So I would not be shocked and surprised if Mac Jones throw for at least 225 and they win this game handily. So if we go with the fact that he got the quarterback he want and the trend with quarterbacks that don't do well, but then they get with the right coach, hey, this game might make Mac Jones some money.
Yep.
It might make him some money.
That will be.
Kyle Shanahan has a way of turning insignificant guys into stars. Look at their former current starting quarterback, Mr.
Captain Savo. Kyle Shanahan, Captain Savo.
Kyle Shanahan is Captain Savo. We go from NFC East to AFC. Bills, Jets. Bills, an amazing comeback last Sunday. The Jets screwed the pooch toward the end and let Aaron Rodgers do it to him like he's been doing forever. This one is in New York again. Bills winning this one. There's no doubt in my mind Bills are winning this one. I do think there'll be plays to be made because I did not like how that Bills defense looked on Sunday. So I do think Justin will have a good game. But this is something where I feel like it's going to be a very close game, but too much Josh Allen at the end of the game. There's going to be way too much Josh Allen. And I think this is going to be a win that's going to, not that they need it to be galvanized, but, it's going to get the Bills rolling like, yo, we should have not won week 1. And we did, so now let's go on and take care of it, win our division easily like we should. So I got Bills winning this one, but I think it's going to be a very close game.
I echo all of your sentiments completely, Scott. I think the Bills do win this game, but I've kind of adjusted my perspective a little bit. I agree. I think it'll be a close game, and I think the Jets could make the playoffs. I think the Jets could make the playoffs. Is that crazy?
That's it's not a hot take, but it's a
hot take.
It's a mild take.
Yes,
it's a mild take.
If you will.
It's a mild take. Yeah, it's a mild take.
I got Buffalo.
I got Buffalo in a closer game than people might think. Because that defense ain't necessarily that good, and they do have problems with mobile quarterbacks.
Yes, I am rooting for Justin to have a great year. He's a good dude. I hope he has a good year. Steelers won in MetLife last week, getting their home opener. Aaron Rodgers' home debut in Pittsburgh, going up against the Seattle Seahawks. They lost their game last week against the San Francisco 49ers. And Sam Darnold showed y'all he's still Sam Darnold. Steelers win this game. Not only going to win this game, they're going to win the game by double digits. I think the worst thing for us fellow Aaron Rodgers haters is that he got off to this hot start and he got his ops out the way very quickly. That does not bode well for when he comes to Soldier Field in November, which I need that game more than air itself. And I don't feel good about it, even though it's 2 months from now. But this game, Steelers. I got Steelers by double digits. I think that my worst nightmare might be coming true, and that this is going to be a really good football team. I think they start off.
I'm not as high on Aaron Rodgers as you are. I think his age kind of showed a little bit last week, even with the win. That being said, I will still take the Steelers, but I'm not proud of it.
Steelers by 10.
Got the Steelers in this game too.
All right, moving on. Rams at Titans. The Titans-Broncos game was very chaotic last week. I don't know if you guys saw the video of Cam Ward's daddy looking like he's going to pass out in the crowd from watching his son's first game. Cam Ward did not play a great game, but he is rookie, so we're going to give him a pass, obviously. Going to the mile high in your first career game is not easy. In fact, he played better. The team played better than I thought he would. I thought he was going to get the hell in back last week, but I did not expect Bomani Jones to look as bad as he looked. Who's scheduled him to take on the Rams and the Broncos? Even this is racist. Yeah, he's gonna be. This is not a good matchup for them again. They will be at home, but the Rams are gonna win this one. And Epidural Boy is gonna have a couple touchdowns, Matt Stafford, and they'll be able to win this one. So I'm going to the Rams. Stat Padford.
Epidural Boy is crazy. Yeah, I need Calvin Ridley to do a better job of catching the fucking ball. Cam Ward did his best. It's looking like his best receiver at the moment is his tight end, who is also a rookie, Gunnar Helm from Texas. I do think the Rams are going to win this game. I'm, again, not happy about it because I want to see Cam Ward thrive, okay? Real high on Cam Ward this season. But yeah, the back-to-back weeks of two tough teams, two tough defenses that you have to play is brutal. Give me the Rams.
Rams by a touchdown.
Rams by double digits.
I got a real funny joke that I'm gonna let off when these cameras start rolling. Real funny joke. But let's go on to the next game. Broncos at Colts. I do not believe anything I saw from the Colts last week. They were playing the Miami Dolphins, and that's going to get shut down very quickly. I think the Broncos are gonna get back on. This is a get right game for the Broncos. Like, I think that the defense obviously is going to remind y'all that Daniel Jones is still Daniel Jones, and I think if there's any game for Bomani Knicks to get back on track, it is this one, and I expect that to happen. Even though they did win last week, but they didn't look good. So that's why I'm saying a get right game. Even though they did win, to get back to the form that people expect them to get back to. I got Broncos winning this.
Yeah, give me the Broncos by double digits.
Oh yeah, Broncos by at least 2 touchdowns.
How the fuck did I just look at the chat?
That's why I said I got something funny to say on this show when the cameras get there.
Broncos, big.
Yeah, this next game, nasty work. Panthers and Cardinals. I'm be real. I do not care who's gonna win this game. I'm gonna say Panthers just because I sold a little high on the Panthers as far as not making. Obviously, I didn't have to make a playoff, but I thought that they're gonna be better than if they looked last week. Cardinals could win this game, but I'm not a Kyler Murray fan, so I'm going with the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Cardinals. Like I said, they're still one of my sneaky sleeper teams this season, and I think the Cardinals win this game.
I'm gonna go with my fellow short king, Bryce Young. I'm still gonna rock with the Panthers, man. I try to pick them as much as humanly
It's two
possible.
short kings in this game.
I was gonna say this is a short
Which
game.
one?
Short king bowl.
I'm the one that don't have ADD. I don't like Kyler Murray. I'm gonna pick Bryce Young, the Heisman Trophy win. Well, they both won a Heisman, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm going with Bryce.
This is Spider-Man meme game.
Yeah, Panthers by 10. I'm gonna go with Bryce.
The little
Well,
niggas
only
game.
one of them got only one of them got their girl taken by Shedeur Sanders. That's new, that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Did y'all see what Michael Irvin said about Derek McKinnon? Yeah, you didn't know that?
Did I miss some quality tea? What happened?
Yeah, you didn't know that Bryce Young got his girl taken by Shedeur Sanders.
No, damn.
Yeah, it's like a year ago. Yeah, like a year ago.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
For someone in college, that's wild.
Did y'all? I mean, yeah, but you know, Shedeur's the Sanders.
Yeah.
Rolls Royce. But did y'all see? I don't know if y'all saw my Instagram. I put up a clip of Michael Irvin. They did like a number association on All the Smoke, and he's like, what play do you think of when the 85 comes? I'm thinking this nigga gonna say Ochocinco. He said Derek McKinnon. I think that's his name. Played for the Bears, and he's
Dennis.
Oh yeah, well I know because Dennis McKinnon. I know because my wife used to date him. I took it from him. I was like, yeah, I know, G. He just went from 0 to 100 very quickly.
He was at the game. Hey, Dennis McKinnon was at the game too. He was at the Bears game. He still got a curl box.
Yeah, nigga, they brought Willie Gault out. I ain't seen Willie Gault in Chicago in a long time. He be just going to Rams games and stuff. But yeah, that when I thought of Bryce Young, I thought of that. But go ahead.
Oh man, in the battle of the man-mans, the man in the red gonna win.
Battle of the man-mans.
Battle of the man-mans.
All right, the game that should be Sunday Night Football, but it's not. It is a Super Bowl 59 rematch. It's nuts. I don't know if it must be a network thing where maybe CBS had to have this game or Fox. That's the only thing I can come to. But Super Bowl 59 rematch at Arrowhead, that the Eagles, Super Bowl champions, taking on the Chiefs. I really honestly think the Eagles are going to win this game, but I'm going to pick the Chiefs because I just can't see a world the Chiefs start 0-2 and especially losing at home. But I would not be surprised whatsoever if the Philadelphia Eagles go out there and win this game. So I'm going to pick the Chiefs because of Pat. He's a crib, and I just can't see them starting 0-2. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this one.
Yeah, I'm picking the Chiefs for this one solely off the fact that they're playing at Arrowhead Stadium. If it were in Philly, I would be taking Philly, but I think the home field advantage is going to come into play significantly. And yeah, give me the Chiefs.
Kansas, no. As long as Jalen Hurts don't spit on nobody, I got Philly. I think this team is still really, really good. I think that defense is really good. Jalen Hurts, I think he gets a lot of unnecessary flack because he may not do things the traditional way, but he has games where he can't go out there and air it out. And I think I got Eagles by 10. I got Eagles by 10 in the Super Bowl rematch.
Man, I got the Eagles in another route. You got a well-rested Jalen Carter, you know what I'm saying, making his debut this season. And who Patrick Mahomes going to throw it to? Like, that man is really throwing to Mikey and Travis Kelce. That's who throwing to right now.
I had a fucked up joke. I'll tell y'all when we go. I can't even say that on there. I had a fucked up joke. He throwing the ball. I'm gonna put it in the private chat. I gotta put it in the private chat. No, I'll check the private chat.
Hey, Patrick Mahomes right now throwing to Mikey, Mariano, Dante.
But this is what I was saying when I'm talking about Josh Allen. And I'm like, and listen, Keon Coleman was a first round pick? Was he a second round pick?
Yeah, second round. First.
I don't want to disrespect the man, but like that's what I mean when I'm like, when you're an elite quarterback, do you really need like top of the line receivers? Josh Allen?
I mean, they ain't got third tier. They ain't even got third tier wide receivers right now. And
Xavier Worthy is doubtful. Check the private chat and ask and see if I'm going to hell or not for what I was thinking. But I can't say that on there. I just couldn't.
I would have said it. You know me. I would have said it. I don't care.
I'm not. People already tried to get me out of here this week. I'm not saying that on there.
They gonna have to find somebody from one of them barbecue joints in KC to throw the book to get the ball from Pat, fam. They ain't got nobody.
They be throwing a Tech 9. That's what they gonna be doing.
Right.
Like, it's just.
Our comments
I'm really. Yeah, it would not. Hey man, Joseph, man, we gotta put you in timeout, dog. You been wild with that. But look, I'm only picking them because Pat. I'm with y'all though. I do not feel good about this, and the route would not surprise me whatsoever. But the Sunday night football game they got Falcons at Vikings. Vikings after the Bears let them off the hook will be at home back to back primetime games. I'm going with them Dirty Birds. Now this is mainly because of hate watch, and Michael Penix did look good last week. He did look good. People won't give him that because they lost. He looked really good last week. Now I do not expect him to look this good against a Brian Flores defense at home, but just purely off hate. This is not football knowledge. I do not want to see another J.J. McCarthy slurp fest. They gave him NFC Offensive Player of the Week for one good quarter. I have a problem with that. But anyway, head tells me Vikings will win. Hate watch tells me Falcons are going to win. So I'm going to go with the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota. Big Will's about to walk him down, score the game-winning field goal. Give me Minnesota.
I'm going with the Falcons. I like Michael Penix a lot. He can make any throw on the field. This offense has a lot of weapons. And I think it's a matter of Raheem Morris and the offensive coordinator really just taking the training wheels off. Like, you got a guy that can make any throw. You have offensive weapons. And also Bijan. My apologies, brother. But he is somebody who you can see him. He's thinking about the next two moves he's going to make before he catches the ball. And so sometimes he'll have a drop where it's like, all right, bro, just catch the ball first. But I think overall that team is really loaded. It's a lot of talent. So I'm gonna go Falcons by a touchdown.
Man, you was gonna pick the Falcons. You only picking the Falcons for a hate watch. I was gonna pick the Falcons regardless.
No, I like the Falcons.
I'm talking about me.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about me. Like, yeah, you gonna pick? No, I was gonna pick them regardless. Look, fam. That shit was an aberration that what happened last week. You played the Bears, all right? You played the Bears. The Falcons defense, I can't believe I just said that about my own team. Look, man, the Falcons defense is better and with more healthier players. The offense is better. Quarterback seems to be very confident. They got one of the best running backs in the game. Nah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. And JJ McCarthy, congratulations on your baby. Congratulations.
Oh, yes, baby.
So the fuck what?
Also, isn't it kind of funny that the baby's name is Rome Micah?
Yeah.
Rome Micah?
He named that baby Rome?
Rome Michael McCarthy, yep.
Like, I mean, again, I'm sure there's some kind of meaning behind that, but I find it a little odd that like both the names come from guys who also happen to be in your division.
Well, look, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great when he coaching his son at Nazareth. So,
yeah, who's the assistant coach gonna be? Caleb? I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
I only said that because NFL Network is playing a loop of Caleb's bad throws.
It's gonna be that trash left tackle we drafted who daddy was Eberflus golf buddy. That's gonna be the
right. Hinsdale folks.
Hinsdale folks, Hinsdale folks. Kyron Amagaji, that's his name. Final two games. It's another Monday night doubleheader, which I'm personally not a fan.
I hate it.
I want to focus.
I hate it.
I want to focus on one game. I don't want them all at the same time. But we got both Texans and Chargers and Raiders. I'm gonna go with the Bake Show going into Texas, getting the dub. Until CJ Stroud looks like that he can actually throw to people who are on his team, I'm not going to pick Houston. So I'm going to go with the Bake Show. I love what I saw from that team last week, so I'm going to pick him in his second game. I like the Raiders home field, but for the Chargers, you can't come off a win over the Chiefs and then lose to the fucking Raiders. I don't care. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that the Chargers are going to start to make a turn here and to start the season really off well. So I'm going to go Bucks and Chargers in these two Monday Night Football games.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately going to have to take the same. And that actually makes me sick to my stomach because I don't want to say nice things about Justin Herbert. Yeah, give me the Bucks, give me the Chargers. Begrudgingly.
I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan, so I'm gonna go with the Bucks on the first game. And as a season ticket holder, I cannot go against my Los Angeles Chargers. You know, G Herbo is going to lead me to a playoff berth and more tickets to sell. So I'm going Bucks and Chargers.
Hey man, I'm going with the Sex Bump King because he is my fantasy football
The what
quarterback.
now?
The Sex Bump King. Justin Herbert got sex bumps in his face.
Got it.
Didn't he give that?
Everybody
famous white girl
put a
he with?
timeout today. Y'all are all
Who that-
on one. I don't know if it's
who
because
that-
it's Friday. We're all feeling a little liberated.
It's
Everybody
Friday. It's
Spray everybody
Friday, and I have
with
It's Friday, and I have a 5-hour drive to Detroit, Michigan tomorrow. That's why I'm on off the rails.
Y'all are all talking
That's
today.
terrible.
Hey, man,
But
Sex
who
Bump
that
King, and I got
who that famous white girl he with?
Madison Beer. She's
Yeah,
a
shorty. Yeah,
singer. That's it.
singer with Eric Rose.
She has made like maybe one good song that I enjoyed, but like she's just like a pop girly. Like Tate McRae.
I
Sabrina
thought she was an
Carpenter.
IG chick. I thought she was an IG
she's
chick.
both. She is an IG chick who also moonlights in music.
Yeah,
I
yeah, she
like
had, like,
that.
a little TikTok
Moonlights
song.
and music.
She's like Tate
I like
McRae, Addison Rae adjacent, if you know who any of those
I
white
have no
I
idea.
know,
who
yeah, I
these
know
white
those.
women are.
But yeah,
I know
man.
Bang
Oh, and the
does.
Bucks too. I got the Bucks too. I got the Bucks winning that game too.
It's sex bumps. That's nuts.
That's sex bumps, man.
Oh man, that is all we
I've
got
never
for y'all
heard anyone
today.
use that before, by the way. That's a
You ain't
first.
never heard
Sex
nobody
bumps.
use that?
Nope.
You
I've
say that
heard
shit
it.
when you
It's
was
just funny.
Yes, you say that shit when you was going through puberty and you like,
Yeah,
you know you ain't getting
sex
no ass,
bumps.
fam, because you getting acne, fam. You getting that sex bumps. Go get your pussy, get sex bumps.
Oh my god.
That's the stupid shit that we used to have like back in the day. Like people believe your sperm count was going away if you was drinking Mountain Dew.
Yep, that too,
Yeah, I remember that one. Courtney, you ain't never heard that one?
That's a little, I think, before my time.
Well, get some,
Okay.
get some of that on your face, man. You get some sex
You know,
bumps.
You know, Courtney, I gotta give it to you. I thought we was gonna get a pod without you getting the shot off. So I gotta give it to you. Congratulations.
Dang.
Bang, that was a good one. You got us. That was a good one. We're gonna wrap this up because Bang and Dante have much better nights on deck than me and Courtney do. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
that's crazy. My bad.
Won't have no sex bumps tonight.
I'm going to spend my Friday night editing and watching the Mina Com show like the loser that I am. Okay.
You enjoy that, brother.
My face gonna be clear as day.
Bang got a flex on us. This is great.
The niggas say, hey, what they say, Bang? Slam laptop shut till Monday. Don't actually mean nothing.
This nigga Dante said, I got food coming, nigga. I'm gonna put my feet up. So I'm gonna make time codes for the next hour. So yeah, happy Fridays.
I'm gonna play Call of Duty and watch some movies by myself, not boot up like everybody else around here.
That's hilarious, man. Shout out to everybody who watched. Like I said, if you missed the beginning of the show, you missed the announcement that Mondays, or as our super producer Nikhil calls it, I'm not gonna hold you, get up. will be the thing during the NFL season. We'll be airing at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. It should be majority crew. Of course, you know, schedules. It's early in the morning, so it might not be all of us. We're going to get at least majority of us. Each and every Monday, we'll be recapping the Sunday games and having a proper preview for the Monday night football game. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to Tosin for joining us. For anybody who's looking for 79th and Howard this week, obviously we're going to Detroit, so you will get the on-field recap video right away. The preview pod is up right now on the Patreon. I brought Mikey out of retirement. Mikey does the preview pod with me. I got Mikey. He won't be doing the next two shows because of some work stuff, but Dante is going to be joining me next week for the preview pod. But check out the preview pod. Me and Mikey do a full 1 hour breakdown on this upcoming game. And then me and my brother are going to actually record a pod in the car on the way back from Detroit as we're going to recap the game. That'll be up for Monday as well. So, So y'all know to follow us all social media platforms at Barber Scott, at JR Bay, at October's on tape, at 100 Collabro for Courtney. Before we got here, Courtney, Dante, let us know what the people can look for High and Outside, which is up on Barber's Chat Network right now.
I know we had a really good episode. Courtney and I, we preview the NL and AL wildcard race. We talked about the Braves a little bit. We've had some crazy statements coming out of Atlanta, whether, Brian Snitker's going to stay, whether they're going to trade their best player since Freddie Freeman. But other than that, no, it was a really good talk. We ran a 2-man. We usually don't do that. We try to get at least 3 people on the show, but, Courtney and I held it down, and it was a really good episode. So make sure y'all tap in with that.
Yeah, and Courtney, we're gonna put the prayer warriors up that you don't get sick this weekend, so that you'll be good to go on the show on Monday, man. So, shout out to everybody. We'll be at Detroit this weekend. So stay tuned for everything 7 at the Howlers. We're gonna holler at y'all Monday morning. We about